Fattened up on lean meat, and Gene, they did it with a near-perfect mixture of offense and defense.
Bob, Florida State will be wanting to do the same thing against the Arizona State Sun Devils. The question is, can they do it? Set up the run first and then get the pass play going. Against Cincinnati, the Seminoles used 9 running plays on the draw, one drive, including a trap play to Rosie Snipes, and then they came back with a dive play on the handoff to the fullback, Cedric Jones. Another big, hard run by him. Then, of course, it's the handoff to the speedster, the guy that can really get it done, Greg Allen. He's a hard-nosed running back. All this sets up the pass plays. Watch Kelly Lowry find a wide-open Tony Johnson on the sideline. The running play sets up the pass play. On the last touchdown drive, same thing. 2 plays in a row, Rosie Snipes gallops for 11 yards. That sets up a big play again. Bob Davis to Jesse Hester for 6 points. The run play sets up the pass.
5 days later, then came the D against Louisville. Florida State looked like a group of sluggers on defense who would gang tackle a practice dummy. It was without doubt their best defensive effort of the year. The Seminoles played like a group of muggers, manhandling the Cardinals in a 51-7 rout to raise their record to a barely respectable 4-3. The entire forward wall shined for the Seminoles. Guys like Alfonso Carricker, Isaac Williams, Todd Stroud, and Ken Rowe held the Redbirds to just 194 yards of total offense. The Tribe played well enough to make a SWAT team radio for some assistance. And they did what Seminole coaches and fans have been waiting for all season long. They finally gelled, and they became a brass-knuckle unit, Gene.
It was a great defensive performance. Thinking of defense, I think back to these 2 series. There hasn't been much defense by either team. You go back to the Fiesta Bowl, high-scoring affair, and then in '79, the Seminoles scored 31 points on Arizona State, which supposedly had a good football team. Let's go back to the series. One team has won 1, and one team has lost 1.
A dozen years ago, back on December 27, 1971, with one of the most dazzling offensive shows in college football history. Arizona State managed to score with 34 seconds remaining in the game to beat Florida State and capture the first ever Fiesta Bowl 45-38. 32 points went on the board in the second quarter alone. With just over 2 minutes left in the half and with Florida State leading 21-14, Sun Devil quarterback Danny White went to work. Yeah, the same Danny White who plays for the Dallas Cowboys. He hit Steve Holden in stride with this 55-yard scoring pass, and that tied it at 21 apiece. At that point, with quarterback Gary Huff at the controls, the Tribe went to work. Huff hit Kent Gatos with a 46-yard gain down to the Sun Devil 10. With time running out, Rhett Dawson pulled in his second touchdown pass of the game, and Florida State led at halftime 28-21. The third quarter was all ASU. The Devils held the ball for nearly the entire quarter, putting 10 points on the board and led 31-28 heading into the final stanza. Florida State tied it at 31-all on a field goal by barefooted kicker Frank Fontes. Then Holden stung the Seminoles again, this time big time. With some great blocking, he returned a Dwayne Carroll punt 63 yards straight up the gut for the touchdown. Florida State came back to tie it again, though, as Dawson made a sensational touchdown catch with 4 minutes and 44 seconds left in the game. It was now tied at 38 apiece. But Arizona State mounted a final drive in this seesaw battle that resulted in a Woody Green score with just 34 seconds left to provide the final margin. The last meeting came 4 years ago on September 15, 1979, in the rain in Tampa, and it was all Florida State. The Tribe exploded for 17 second quarter points and never looked back on their way to a lopsided victory over the Sun Devils. Turnovers spelled ASU's fate on that night, as a pair of Monk Bonasorte interceptions and a Ron Simmons fumble recovery each led to Seminole scores. That two-headed quarterback named Wally Jim Jordan played brilliantly. Wally Woodham passed for 225 yards and a touchdown, while Jimmy Jordan threw for another 155 yards and 2 more scores, as the Seminoles swamped the Sun Devils 31-3, and that evened the series at a game apiece. The rubber game of this infant series coming up in just a couple of moments here on Channel 6. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll take you to the Valley of the Sun and look at those Sun Devils of ASU. Although they have only lost once in 6 games. Steve Pacetti now profiles Florida State's opponent tonight, the run-and-gun Sun Devils of ASU.
Like the Seminoles, the Sun Devils have had high points and low points this season. The high point came 2 weeks ago in the Los Angeles Coliseum, where ASU dominated USC in a 34-14 win. In that game, the inconsistent ASU offense gelled around quarterback Todd Hans and running back Darryl Clack. Clagg's just a sophomore, but regarded as the top all-purpose runner in the Pac-10 already. On this day, he had more than 250 yards, 80 on this touchdown pass from Hans. Clagg's teammate in the backfield is fullback Tex Wright, who can catch the ball as well. It gives the Devils an offense that's very hard to defense most of the time.
And I'm comfortable. I feel comfortable. But then again, you know, I still want to improve myself on everything I do, running and catching the ball, you know, and so forth. But other than that, I'm satisfied with the way things are going right now.
We ran the ball to complement the bats, and it helped us in a great deal.
Clagg's played only 5 of ASU's 7 games, but has rolled up nearly 900 yards on the ground and in the air. But in the 2 games when Clack was out, the Sun Devil offense became predictable, and it sputtered. First, it was UCLA. Without Clack, ASU was forced to pass, and ran up a 26-10 score against the Bruins. But without a running game to protect that lead, ASU wore down in the second half and had to settle for a controversial 26-26 tie. But to the players' credit, they didn't let that get them down.
We're a good team. We can bounce back from anything, so I'm not worried about that.
ASU came back to win 2 in a row, but then last week again, Clack was injured. And again, the passing game became too predictable when ASU needed points. Todd Hans has great stats the last few games, 50 of 71 for 667 yards and 4 touchdowns. Last week, another game over 300 yards in the air, but 3 of those passes were intercepted. Washington State has its first win in the Pac-10, 31-21, and ASU's Rose Bowl plans were put on hold indefinitely.
You're going to have your faults when you don't have Darryl in the running attack. I don't think we had a running attack that we usually have.
The Devils live by the run on offense. They die by the run on defense, especially when the running comes from the option. Washington State confused ASU defenders all night with runs off the option and against the flow.
There was a little confusion out there. They, just knew what to do when we were in a certain defense and knew what to put us. They were putting us in a defense that we didn't want to be in.
Against a more conventional offense, the young Sun Devil defense can be awesome. Their trademark, the blitz. 29 quarterback sacks this season. That's ahead of last year's record-setting pace. The main man of the assault is safety David Fulcher, a big, fast, sure tackler with a flair for the unusual. He has 6 sacks and an interception to his credit, and a rather unusual hairdo.
It's my arrow. When I was in high school, a couple of guys had arrows in their head, and I just wanted to try it out, and so far it's brought me success. Everybody said it's the arrow that's doing the job, so I think I did it last night so I can, see what happens this game, and it seemed like it turned out to be a good game with the arrow in there, so I'm just going to leave it in there.
The big question mark is the defense. Obviously, it's vulnerable against a varied attack, but Coach Darryl Rogers doesn't plan to abandon the blitz, which led his team to a #1 defensive rating last season.
They're going to be able to blitz against this football team. We hope so, Bill. I can't tell you, but I know we're going to play hard.
On the Sun Devil side, look for an aggressive defense, testing the mettle of quarterback Kelly Lowry and the versatility of Florida State's offense. For ASU's offense, look for Darryl Clack. Despite the Devils' impressive air game, without Clack and the run, ASU might be grounded. I'm Steve Pacenti for Channel 6 Eyewitness Sports in Tempe, Arizona.
There is no doubt about it, Bob. The Arizona State Sun Devils are for real. I think that tape indicates it, and the tape we've looked at, they're a tough football team. How are the Seminoles going to attack it? We'll see in a moment.
Tell you up top, the Seminoles have a tough nut to crack tonight. Gene, you spoke with the brain trust of Florida State all week long and a number of Seminoles. What's the
best way to
scoop?
describe Arizona State is big, fast, and explosive. The Sun Devil offense compares to Pitt in size and to the Seminoles in explosiveness. Quarterback Todd Hans is a great one. Stopping Hans won't be easy tonight.
Arizona State has a great offense. They have the skill people. They remind you a lot of our offense. They throw the ball, but they also run. They run real well, and so we got to stop both the run and the pass.
What sort of quarterback is Todd Hans?
Very good quarterback. He's a sharp kid. It's his second year as starter, and they say the biggest improvement they've had this year was their quarterback. And he can read coverages real well. He knows where his receivers are. He knows where to go to the second and third guy if the first two are covered. So he's a smart quarterback, very smart.
Washington State stung ASU last week with an aggressive pass rush that finally wore down the Sun Devil passing game. Without a strong rush, the Devils can kill you.
Yeah, they got a great offense. The line is going to be as physical as we ever met. They're real big. They got a couple 300-pounders. And the quarterback is one of the best and the running backs are very physical, and they can run pretty strong. So we won't have to play a pretty good ball up front.
Arizona State doesn't have to throw the ball to beat you. They can run the ball, too, particularly if sophomore sensation Daryl Clack is healthy. That can cause a lot of problems for the Seminole linebacker.
In order to play good against the run game at Arizona State, the linebackers are going to have to play good force technique as far as playing the linemen off of us to get to the running backs. So, you know, the linebackers are going to play a vital role in this game.
You got to think about Daryl Clack first. He's the big running back. He's like James Jones at Florida was last year. He's big enough to run over you, and he's quick enough to run by you.
He's a super back. There's no question about him. We got to use our techniques as far as tackling. We got to lock up and drive, you know. He's going to try to run over us, and we got to, you know, give it our best.
The Sun Devils are averaging 435 yards a game in total offense. It will be very tough stopping them tonight. On the other hand, moving the ball won't be easy either. ASU led the nation in defense last year, and despite losing 7 starters off that 82 team, the Devils are almost as tough this fall. They feature a very aggressive, blitzing style of D.
You know, if we can pick up their blitz and hopefully bring them out of the blitz, that we think that we'll be able to move the ball. And see, that's the whole plan of their defense, is to be able to pressure the quarterback, make him make mistakes, make the whole offense make mistakes. And if we make them play a base defense, then I think we'll be able to move the ball.
That's the key, stopping the blitz of Arizona State. And the Seminole game plan has a few new wrinkles to attack the dogging Devil.
Well, they've had trouble in the past with option, and we plan on giving them a big share of option attack. I think we can execute it against it. Anytime you're playing against a man-to-man defense, we run the coverage off and we pitch the football. If we get out in the corner, we get big plays. And we can throw the football against them. Kelly Lowry is intelligent enough to read the blitz and check the proper audible.
This may be Kelly Lowry's toughest assignment of the season, reading the blitz, checking off, and executing.
I look for them to blitz, come after us, and then if we can hit them with big plays, then we can get them out of all that. But you just never know. You know, we got to go. That's a long trip out there, and we just want to come out with a W.
Seminoles are on a roll now, 2 in a row.
Yeah, we're on a roll, and you know, a lot of seniors on this team. We have a lot of pride, and it's our last 4 games coming up, and we just want to win, you know, really bad and get back in that top 20, and then go get a bowl.
Back in the top 20 and go get a bowl. Kelly Lowry speaks for the rest of his teammates on the Seminole team, and he speaks for head coach Bobby Bowden. The subject of bowls is high on the mind of everybody involved with FSU football.
Well, last time these two teams played, you had a ball game. It was score was 41-35 or something like it. It was way up high, a bowl game, one of the most exciting ball games there ever was. People who saw it said, I didn't see it. And maybe back in 73 or something like that, too. And so both teams have still got the same type of football teams, wide open offensive sets, gamblers, not afraid to try anything, and it makes for an exciting football game. I don't see how these two teams could ever play in a dull ball game.
How important is a win for Florida State? They're all important, I know, but you'd like to keep this streak going, I know.
Well, yeah, we need it. We're trying to come out with a winning year this year and have a good year and maybe get a bowl bid. That's what we'd like. Team should. It's that good, but gee whiz, if we don't win the close ball games, we're not going to go anywhere. And so we need this win real bad. Of course, they do too, but we want it bad. They're going to have to really line up and do it to us because we need the game bad.
Kelly Lowry spoke earlier of seniors and pride on Florida State. Well, there is also the baby brigade of FSU, and we'll take a look at those young fellows in just a moment. And go to a bowl, maybe even be #1. It hasn't turned out that way.
There are a lot of rookies and sophomores in the lineup, and they'll be there tonight, Bob. If you're a reporter covering Florida State football, you see them every day, but generally don't recognize them by name. At least not at first. They are the rookies, and in some cases sophomores, with great high school credentials, but not yet proven ability in big-time college football. They are young, restless, and itching to play.
All we needed was a chance. Me and Todd, they let us in there. We're both sophomores, and we can play. We knew that all along. We just had to prove it to the coaches in practice.
While most coaches hesitate to play unproven, inexperienced players in crucial ball games, Bobby Bowden is the exception.
It's been good for us because young people have a lot of enthusiasm, and it brings a lot of enthusiasm and excitement in there. They'll make mistakes, they'll do foolish things at times, pick up a foolish penalty, but they do give a lot of enthusiasm. I think the young ones that we have played, interspersed with our veterans, has given us a lift.
Most rookies automatically get assigned to scout team duty or the JV squad. Very few come into camp knowing they'll get an instant shot at stardom. One exception to that rule is freshman punter Lewis Berry.
It feels great. I love it. You know, not many people get a chance to do what I'm doing, and I'm just real happy that I can contribute to the team.
Some youngsters get their shot by default. When kicker Mike Rendina was ruled academically ineligible, freshman walk-on Barry Barco stepped in to take over.
I wasn't really sure when I came in. I know I had a good shot. The position seemed to be open, so I just wanted to give it my best shot, see what I could do.
And there are other restless youngsters who have moved into starting roles on both sides of the line. Sophomores Dan Morris and John Ionata have seen plenty of duty on the offensive line. Both have started.
I'm just getting out there and playing on some emotion and just some ability, and I just got to get the technique down, and I'll be doing a lot better.
It's important to have that emotion, though, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. Emotion is 95% of this game, and you need it out there.
Defensively, Todd Stroud moved ahead of veteran Brad Foytik at nose guard and has started 3 games in a row. And sophomore Isaac Williams is pushing 3-year starter David Ponder at tackle.
It's like, with me and Todd, we've never been there before, and we're trying to stay there. You know, we're fighting to stay there, and we're having fun. You know, and it's not like it's monotonous, and we're not getting complacent or anything like that because we just got there. We have no reason to be complacent.
Isaac Williams, Todd Stroud, Dan Morris, John Ionata, Barry Barco, Lewis Berry. They are the young and the restless, just waiting for a chance, and proving when they get that chance, they can play the game.
Those are only a few of the young and the restless. There are, of course, more.
There are Cletus Jones. You're going to see some Ulysses Roberson tonight in this ASU game.
Freddie Jones.
Freddie Jones. Those guys are going to get some playing time.
And we all forget about Rosie Snipes. He's almost a veteran. Before we leave you, a couple of thoughts. Look for Florida State to run the option time after time tonight. ASU can't stop it. Also look for Kelly Lowry to take a 2-step drop and hit the wideouts. They can't stop that either.
Worked on it all week in practice, Bob. It's going to be a great game. Can't wait.
That is our show. Stay tuned for Larry and Barry, Larry Metzen and Barry Smith, who will be handling the play-by-play in color tonight. I'll see you at halftime with scores and highlights.
Where the Seminoles battle the Arizona State Sun Devils. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Coors. The best of the Rockies is yours. The clean, fresh taste of Coors coming through all the way to you. Live via satellite from Sun Devil Stadium, here are Larry Matson and Barry Smith.
Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe, Arizona. Larry Matson along with Barry Smith and a packed crowd of 70,000 expected here tonight. Arizona State and Florida State, and 2 high-powered offenses.
Larry, you're right. Both teams are ranked in the top 10 when we talk about total offense and scoring offense, and I think you're going to see a wide-open game.
Of course, there is one question mark concerning Arizona State right now, and that would be Daryl Clack, their outstanding tailback.
Well, Daryl Clack against Washington State encountered a hip pointer. He's questionable right now, and talking with their coaches, they may hold him out because it's a non-PAC conference game.
And 2 question marks facing Florida State would be Jesse Hester and Kelly Lowry.
Well, last week, Jesse Hester, of course, had the neck injury, and Kelly Lowry is nursing a weak ankle. But I talked to Don Falls before the game. He expects him to be 100% and ready to go.
Bobby Bowden and Darrell Rogers, 2 outstanding coaches. Bobby, of course, becoming the winningest coach in Florida State history.
Well, unfortunately, neither coach has had a chance of playing against one another. This is their first encounter. Of course, the last time they met, Florida State was victorious, and we had the victory back in Tampa.
And the first time these 2 teams met happened to be right here in the first Fiesta Bowl ever, and Barry Smith participated in that one.
Well, Larry, there's really not a lot to say about that one. We were on the short end of the stick, but it was an exciting game, and I hope tonight we're going to see some more fireworks.
I would think that the real key to this game may be the rushing defense of each ball club.
Well, that's the one thing that concerns me. Right now, Arizona State is ranked number 18th in the country in total defense, and they do a very good job against the rush, and it's going to be a key tonight.
Both teams ranked nationally in the top 10 in scoring and in offense, so it should be an exciting game. And we'll be back with the opening kickoff in just a moment. From the southwest at 5 miles per hour. Visibility, they say, is 35 miles, and from where we're sitting high above the stadium here, we can see out forever, it seems, with the lights of Scottsdale and Tempe and Phoenix all around us. It is absolutely gorgeous here, Barry.
I tell you what, it was a great afternoon to play some golf.
Too bad we didn't.
Yeah, well, maybe next time. Maybe next time.
Now, a lot of the people will be seeing in the television screens the garnet and gold. Don't be misled, because the Arizona State colors here happen to be maroon and Aztec gold, very similar to Florida State. There are some Florida State fans here tonight, but be aware that most of the fans here will be highly partisan for Arizona State. As we mentioned, a beautiful night for football. They're expecting the temperatures to drop to into the 70s during the course of the game, because this is a night game here in the southwest of the country in Arizona. Florida State wearing their white jerseys tonight with the gold pants, and we'll be seeing them kicking off here shortly. The stadium is not yet packed. It's sold out, or very nearly sold out. Over 70,000 expected. But Barry, you were telling me that they come early, they come late and leave early mostly.
Well, last night I had a chance to fly up with Greg Meyer, who's on the ASU coaching staff, and he mentioned they have some strange fans here. They like to come late and they leave early, no matter what.
So we'll see the action here in just a bit as we get underway. Darrell Rogers, the head coach of Arizona State. And you played here in this stadium the very first Fiesta Bowl, returned a kick for 49 yards, caught a long pass down to the 1 or 2 yard line in a high-powered, high offensive game, and we expect something similar tonight.
Well, Larry, it certainly does bring back some memories coming back to Tempe here. Only thing is the stadium is about, I think, 25,000 seats larger than it was back then. Only thing is both offenses are just like they were back then. They're high-powered, and I hope to see a great scoring game.
We're going to get a good look at an All-American kicker here to start this game off. Luis Zendejas. And Zendejas has had a tough time field goal-wise the last 6 quarters of his career, but he's the greatest kicker in Arizona State history, and deep will be Rosie Snipes. Zendejas has booted it, and it is going deep into the end zone, about 8 yards deep. Snipes will take it there and just sit it down. It'll be 1st and 10 with a touchback at the 20-yard line. So Florida State will have the first opportunity to get the high-powered offense cranked up, and I would think that the running game is going to be very important in this one tonight to see which defense can stop the other's running attack.
Well, Larry, I think you're right in that. There's no question that both teams would like to have some sort of ball control tonight and keep the other offense off the field.
And as you can see, Jesse Hester is starting tonight as one of the wideouts, and he has a sore neck, but it won't keep him out of action. Eye backs for Lowry, and the quick pitch right away, and it's going to be Allen to the outside. He gets about 4 yards. So Greg Allen stopped by Jimmy Williams, one of the inside linebackers, and they've got 2 outstanding linebackers there. Jimmy Williams, number 45, and Greg Battle, number 37. A defensive line is big and strong, and the linebackers, as we mentioned, perhaps the strongest part of this defense. And the secondary, of course, we'll be talking about throughout the game. They'll be making a lot of the plays we expect, because this is going to be that kind of a game where the play may be in the secondary throughout. 2nd down 6. Lowry to throw, and it's incomplete. Intended for Tony Johnson out of Dothan, Alabama. Tony, a senior, and it'll bring up 3rd and 6.
You know, Larry, tonight we're going to see ASU play quite a bit of man-to-man defense. It's a defense that they feel that they can play with any team in the country, and of course one I think Florida State is going to have a good test tonight.
Weegee Thompson coming in from the sideline with the play, and Weegee will be lining up wide right in the slot with Tony Johnson even farther out. That's Weegee at the bottom of your screen in the slot in the backfield. 3rd and 6. Lowry, he's got to complete out of the backfield and down to the 31-yard line for a 1st down is Greg Allen. Allen stopped by Dale Walton. Walton, the strong safety, a junior out of Oceanside, California.
Well, Larry, this is a good play on 3rd and 6. You're going to see Greg Allen. It's a very basic play. He's going to run out in the flat. The coverage is off, and he makes a smart catch because he is 1 yard past the line of scrimmage. I mean, you know, the 1st down marker where he needs to be. And we got the 1st down.
So it's 1st and 10 at the 32, and it's a split backfield now offensively with wideouts left and right. And a little inside handoff, and Greg Allen's got some running room out near the 45-yard line. He'll be down at the 44. David Fulcher, number 7, making the stop. He's the free safety, and he was a wide receiver who is now, as a sophomore, playing in that free safety spot, a starter from Los Angeles. Arizona State has recruited a number of players out of California. I guess that's their recruiting hotbed area. It is now 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. High backs. The deep back again is Allen. In motion is Thompson. He'll come back the other way now. And the pitch to Allen. hit at the line of scrimmage and squirms his way forward to about the 47-yard line, where Brian Noble makes the stop. He's the outside linebacker on the left side out of Anaheim, California. Had played junior college. That's another thing that Arizona State likes to do, is go after the junior college players.
Well, you know, they've got this running back. Well, we've got Roosevelt Snipes that came out of junior college ranks. And, of course, there Mike Crawford, the running back that may fill in for Dilla Clack tonight, is also from the JUCO leagues.
It is 2nd and 8. With eye back from the 47-yard line. A quick drop. He wasn't open left, so he came back to the right, and it's complete to Jesse Hester. Hester falls out of bounds to stop the clock at the Sun Devil 45-yard line. And that should be enough for a first down. It is.
This is a good read by Kelly Lowry. He wanted to go to Weegee Thompson. Of course, he was covered. He came back to the secondary receiver, which is Jesse Hester, running a quick out. He kept his feet in bounds, made a fine catch for the first down.
Jesse, a junior from Belle Glade, Florida. 6 feet, 175-pound junior. It is 1st and 10 at the 45 with eye backs again and wideouts left and right. Play action pass, and Lowry finds his man. It's complete and out of bounds at the 35-yard line as Bruce Hill comes up to make the hit on Tom Wheeler, the tight end, the senior from Port Orange.
K.C. Kelly with the play action fake. Of course, they're in man-to-man coverage again, and the tight end has single coverage, and Wheeler makes a fine grab over the middle. And you can see him looking for the first down marker, and very close to it. And it looks like Kerry Thietz made the tackle.
Lowry doesn't look a bit hampered with that ankle at all.
No, sure doesn't.
2nd and 1. You might see a big one here from the 35. Nope, they'll go on the ground with it. Cedric Jones. And a penalty flag is dropped. Flag is down as Mike Copeland makes the hit. He had some help from the nose guard, Mitch Callahan, 249-pound senior, who was one of the starters last year when Arizona State led the nation in total defense. The year before, they had led the nation in total offense.
You know, Larry, out of that defense that led the nation, there's only one returning senior on that team. There's only seen Mitch Callahan, the nose guard.
They're going to step it off against Florida State. Legal procedure is the call, so this one will bring back to about the 40-yard line and bring up a second down and about 5 for the first down, or 6 really. Robert Beal making the call, the referee, and there's your look at tonight's officials. 2nd down and 5, but it's a long 5, about 5.5. Wideouts left and right again, as you see the split backfield as Lowry sends Weegee Thompson in motion. He's going to hand off. Greg Allen hit and falls forward, though. He gets back almost to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be, or before the penalty, the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and short yardage now for Florida State. David Fulcher and Frank Rudolph combining to make the hit. Rudolph the defensive end and Fulcher the free safety. Arizona State, according to the local papers here today, a 1.5-point favorite. And that's perhaps because of the home field advantage. So 2 outstanding offensive units going against each other. And Arizona State being the home team favored by 1.5 points. It is 3rd and 2. And here comes an end around with Hester open and running at the 40, 35, 30, and tripped up at the 25-yard line. That's enough for a first down. They'll mark it at the 24. Mario Montgomery making the hit, and he is the fastest defensive back in that secondary for Arizona State.
Of course, here's Bobby Bowden going into his bag of tricks early in the game. See Greg Allen handing off to Jesse Hester. Of course, you see a good block. There's Lowry trying to throw a block. I don't know why Hester's holding the ball like that. Looks like a little loaf of bread there, but he makes a fine run, and Mario Montgomery makes the tackle, and we got a first down.
Saw a good look at Tom McCormick, the senior center, leading the way, too, laying a block from Panama City, Florida. Lowry on the option. He's going to keep and run, and he is off and down to the 10 and down to the 7-yard line. Lowry, first down, stopped by Bruce Hill. A good run, and certainly that ankle is no problem tonight for Kelly Lowry.
You see Kelly running the option here. This is one of the plays that the Arizona State defense, it does not defense very well. And of course, see Kelly, he runs it well for us. He makes the first down.
Now, this is similar to the game when you played in 1971 when Arizona State took the opening kickoff, drove for a score.
That's right.
And then Florida State came right back to tie it at 7-7. 5 first downs in the drive, and it is 1st and goal from the 7-yard line. Lowry on the option, the pitch, Allen to the 2, and oh, was he hit. Walton really upended him. He had some help. I think Walton was the first guy to get to him. There's Weegee Thompson. You see Panton going in now, and he's going to bring in the play from the sideline. So Pete Panton will line up as a tight end wearing number 96 in a short yardage situation, 2nd and 2. And he'll bring in the play from Laurel, Florida, sophomore, 6'2", 230. High backs, quick pitch, Allen left side. He can't get there. He's down to the 1 on good hard running. He was hit behind the line of scrimmage. Rudolph, and he had some help.
See Greg Allen just trying to run the off tackle. He got Jamie Dukes out in front. One thing is he didn't find the end zone that time.
And Salamua came up to put his 285 pounds on him.
A lot of pursuit that time.
He is from National City, California. Dan Salamua, a sophomore, 6 feet, 285-pounder. He wears number 98. It's 3rd down now and 1. 3rd down and goal from the 1. Allen up and over, but did he get in? No indication. He did not make it across the plane. It'll be 4th and goal at the, I guess, the 6-inch line. Salamua, David Fulcher, rising to the occasion for the Arizona State Sun Devils, and they stopped him.
Well, after driving almost the length of the field, and ASU being kind of porous, all of a sudden they've kind of gotten tough right down there.
Well, that ball is no more than a foot away from the goal line. They got to break the plane, and Bobby Bowden says, let's go for it. 4th and goal. Big play early. Quarterback sneak. Lowry doesn't get it right away. Second effort. No indication. Touchdown. There it is. It was a long time coming. And the official on this side of the field called it, but the official on the other side did not. And there's some discussion in the stands about that one as well. But Lowry gets the touchdown. And he didn't make it by much, just breaking the plane. It didn't make it on his first surge.
Now we got another look at it right here. See Kelly trying to drive it in. All you have to do is break the plane of the goal line with the ball, and he did. And it's a touchdown for Florida State. Of course, Cletus Jones did a nice job of kind of shoving him into the end zone.
Now Ball's PAT is up, and it is good with 8 minutes and 41 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. There is a break in the action in Tempe, Arizona, in Sun Devil Stadium with the score, Florida State 7, Arizona State nothing. And we're ready to get underway here. Kick is going to be a line driver. Day will take it in the end zone and drop it 5 yards deep, and then they'll sit on it, bring it out to the 20. 1st and 10. So with a touchback, Arizona State will put it in play now. An 80-yard drive for the Seminoles, putting points on the board, and Arizona State will go to work. Both kickers showing a strong lead tonight. Barco's kick going 5 or 6 yards deep in the end zone, and of course their All-American kicker Zendejas booted it about 8 yards deep. 14-play drive.
A little over 6 minutes. Not a bad job.
Split backfield, the pro set now for Arizona State. Their quarterback Todd Hans will hand off left side, and this is Dwayne Wright, who is more known for his blocking ability than his running ability, out of Dallas, Texas. Todd Stroud on the stop. Wright has gained 199 yards coming into this one, an average of 4.1. Hans, the quarterback, has passed for over 1,300 yards and 8 touchdowns this year. You see the offensive set. Their tight end is a good one, Don Kern, one of the leading receivers in the offensive line. They've been changing that up a bit too, as we'll mention here in a moment. It is now 2nd down and 8. Split backfield and a play action pass with Hans going incomplete. And defensively for the Seminoles, we'll take a look at that defense. And they're going to be called on to stop one of the best offenses in the country tonight. No question about that. Carricker, Stroud, and Williams starting at the front down 3 linemen. Your outside linebackers McLean and Williams, and the inside linebackers Rowe and Taylor. And at the corners, Riley and Bloodworth, with the safeties Milligan and McCrary. It is 3rd down 8 at the 22. 8 minutes 2 seconds remaining in the first quarter. It's 7-0 Florida State. 3rd down and 8. And Hans apparently checking off at the line with an audible. He's got some pressure on him, but he unloads it, has a man open, but it goes incomplete, out of bounds. And he was no question open. Doug Allen, who is known for his precision patterns and consistency as a receiver from Baldwin Park, California, but he was simply out of bounds.
Well, Larry, that's what the Florida State defense is striving to do, is to get Arizona State in 3rd and long. Of course, it makes it a lot tougher for any offense to try to get that type of yardage.
Jim Meyer from Phoenix right here in this area will be kicking now, and the punting unit is on. He'll be standing at his own 6-yard line. Cedric Jones will be the deep back and single safety. Seminoles might go for it here. What do you think?
I don't know. This early in the game, I think I'd play conservative and try to go for the return.
Well, they're dropping one deep now, and there's a low snap, but oh, they almost got it. It's an end-over-end kick. Bouncing at the 46, bouncing at the 42. The penalty flag is down. In fact, a couple of them are down. It'll roll dead at the 41, but we've got a couple of flags down, one across field and one down at around the 20. Another good look at it.
See, Myers, let's see how close they come to almost blocking this.
Oh, he
just came underneath it.
One of the preliminary indications is offsides against Arizona State.
For some wondering, it looked like he hit the kicker. If he hit him at all, should be
they're talking over here. We'll see. Legal procedure is one call. Now, is that the only call? Got a good look there at Ken Rowe from Cropwell, Alabama, senior. Legal procedure. And it will be declined, so Florida State will have it 1st and 10 at their own 41-yard line. Good field position, and they're leading it 7-0 here in the first quarter in Tempe, Arizona, Sun Devil Stadium. I was amazed when we came out yesterday how clear and crisp and beautiful it was, and it was in the 80s. You know,
and also how dry it was
in the 80s.
Yeah, there's no humidity out here. It's amazing.
41-yard line, 1st down 10. Florida State ranked 4th nationally, averaging 472 yards a game, and in scoring, averaging 35.6. But Arizona State averages 32. Now, Lowry fell down.
It looked like it was just a misconnection between Tom McCormick and Kelly. Actually, a smart move. He just grabbed the ball and fell down. We take another look at it right here.
Oh, the ball came loose for a moment, and he just cradled it.
That's the type of play that gives ulcers to a head coach.
Good shot there up close where you can see that ball come loose. 2nd down 11 now with 7.5 minutes to play in the first quarter. Again, the score 7-0. The Seminoles scoring on the first drive of the game, 80 yards, and driving it in 14 plays. Lowry on the option to the 43, and only a gain of a couple. Dale Walton, and along with Jimmy Williams, who is from right here in Tempe. He's a junior, number 45, 6 feet, 215-pounder.
You know, Larry, it's kind of interesting. This early in the game, Florida State has a conservative game plan right now. They're not trying to throw deep. They're trying to just take what the Arizona State defense is giving them right now. Of course, I suspect with the man-to-man coverage, we're going to see them go deep sooner or later.
From the 42, it is 3rd down and 9. And that certainly brings up a passing situation. Big blitz is on. He had to unload it early, and because of that, he goes incomplete. Cedric Jones was the intended receiver, but Lowry really had no time at all. Penalty flag is down at the 42. Good shot of Bobby. But we'll wait for the penalty call here and see what that's all about. Guess who I ran into just before the game down in the hall? You know who it was.
The Bear.
The Golden Bear is here, Jack Nicklaus. He's in Hootie Ingram's box.
I think he was in town playing a golf tournament or something like that. Exhibition, I believe.
The flag was thrown against Florida State, but apparently will be declined, and the kicking unit is on. So we'll see Lewis Berry, the freshman, to punt. And one man deep was Tom Onofrio, who is a backup quarterback. I think he's listed as a 3rd teamer, and he is from Missouri, Columbia, Missouri, a senior.
Isn't that the Show Me State?
That is it.
Let's see what he can show us right now.
Barry's averaging 40.8 on his punts this year, and this is a pretty good one. Onofrio at his own 10. Good coverage. He skirms his way out to about the 18. Looked like he might be stopped at the 15. He got it out to the 18-yard line. So with 6.5 minutes to go in the first quarter, it's still 7-0, and Arizona State will go back to work now. Only one long drive in the game, 80 yards, as Lowry took it in on a quarterback sneak. Hall's extra point made it 7-0, and each team now has punted once. This crowd is somewhat subdued at the moment. 70,000 expected here tonight. That is capacity. A beautiful stadium. This is where, of course, the Fiesta Bowl is played. Last year was the first New Year's Day event for that particular bowl. And running right is Mike Crawford, who's playing for Daryl Clack. We have not seen Clack yet with a hip pointer. We may not see him. And this Crawford is from Thousand Oaks, California. Gets good running room out near the 23-yard line.
Chris, Larry, the key to the ASU running attack is they call them the bookends. That's James Keaton and Mike White, two seniors for Arizona State, and they've done a fine job for them. And I think this is going to be the key tonight to the running attack.
White is no relation to Danny White, who played here as a quarterback. He is from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Keaton is from Lansing, Michigan. 2nd and 4. And he's got the first down out to the 30-yard line. Again, it's Crawford running left this time, and enough for the first down. Arizona State's first down is Brian McCrary makes the stop, the free safety.
Hey, once again, you're going to see Mike Crawford here run the ball. Does a fine job. You see the block by Mike White.
You got 2 of them.
That's right, 2 of them. And he's got a first down. Brian McCrary, on the tackle that time.
At the 30-yard line, Arizona State, 1st and 10. 2 wideouts go wide to the right. Split backfield again in the pro set. It's Todd Hans. Rolls to his right. And on the run, overthrown, incomplete. Hans is one of those junior college transfers to Arizona State. Played his high school football in Torrance, California. He completed his first varsity pass to himself.
I believe there's a flag down, Larry.
There is a flag down at the line of scrimmage as they're talking it over now. And they're talking with the Florida State defense. Holding Arizona State.
Holding against ASU, the preliminary.
How many quarterbacks have you seen complete passes to themselves?
As I understand, I think Hans's very first completion of his whole career was to himself. He threw it, it was batted down, he caught it. Kind of interesting statistic right there.
He is 6'1", 182, a senior, and he had 2 300-yard passing games last year as a junior. Back to the 20-yard line, holding is to call. So they'll bring up a 1st and 20 now from the 20-yard line. 5.5 minutes, 5:23 to be exact, in the first quarter with 7-0 to score, Florida State. They're going to send Doug Allen wide left. And they're going to split out Don Kern, the tight end. They got 3 wide receivers to the right side now. Well, there's a good defensive effort from Carricker, and he escapes the rush and then runs out of bounds inside the 10, all the way back at the 7-yard line. Hans had to run for his life. Carricker really putting some pressure on him. And then Rowe, I think, finally forced him out with help from Henry Taylor as well.
We're going to take another look at it right here. Hans looking for a receiver. Arizona State lined up with 3 receivers to the split side. And, of course, he's getting pressure right there from Alfonso Carricker. And then from Ponder, and he just has run out of bounds. And a play like that is good because you have pressure on the quarterback, and the defense secondary did their job.
Carricker really took on the block and just forced right through the block. It is 2nd and 33 from the 7-yard line. The tailback is lined up at his own end zone. And he gets the call. Crawford right side out to about the 10. That's tough when you're facing 2nd and 33 and you're lining up in your own end zone.
Maybe the last 2 weeks has done wonders for the Florida State defense. They have become more aggressive. That's one of the things, of course, that the coaches are looking for.
Isaac Williams on that stop from Sanford, Florida. The sophomore was expected to start tonight at right defensive tackle. Getting his first opportunity here tonight on the tackle. It is now 3rd and 30 from the 10-yard line. Little motion on the line, and of course that brought David Ponder to jump over. The penalty apparently will go against the offensive line for illegal procedure. They're talking it over now, and that'll put him even deeper down near the 5-yard line, and the tailback will definitely be in his own end zone.
I believe it was one of the bookends moved. Number 35, James Keaton.
Well, Keaton weighs 275 and White weighs 290. To give you an idea of what kind of a pro offensive line that Arizona State has here in Tempe. It is now 3rd and 35 from the 5.
Think they'll throw it?
And they've got the 2 setbacks rather than go to the eye. They've gone to the pro set, and he's under pressure. unloading the screen, and Crawford is hit hard and fights his way up to about the 12. He'll be fourth and a long, long way to go, and the kicking unit will come on. Steve Bloodworth on the tackle. He's starting tonight at right cornerback from Gainesville, Florida.
Florida State so far in the early going is really showing well, and I think if we can keep it up like that, keep the pressure on the quarterback in the running game, we may do well.
Should get good field position here as Jones is standing at his own 46-yard line. Myers averaging 42 yards a kick. His longest this year has been 64. So Jim Myers deep about 3 yards in his own end zone. Single safety for the Seminoles. And this one is very close to being blocked. End over end kick taken at the 49-yard line and running left to the 50 and across midfield, about a 4-yard pickup on the return, but in excellent field position at the 48-yard line. Aaron Tupper on the stop for Arizona State, and Florida State will employ 1st and 10 at the Sun Devil 48.
You know, football is a game of field position, and Florida State is working itself in better field position, and if we keep it on this side of the field, maybe we put some points on the board.
3:27 to play in the opening quarter. It's still 7-0 Florida State, scoring on the opening drive of the game. Since then, each team has had to punt it away. Slot right formation for the Seminoles. Good shot of Kelly Lowry as they send Hester in motion back to the left side, and a screen pass to Allen, and good defense back at the 45-yard line. A loss of 8 yards. Jimmy Williams, the linebacker. They had good pressure on the quarterback because of the screen, but then they had it excellently defensed with the screen after the completion.
See, Florida State going to the screen, which has been one of its better plays this season. Unfortunately, Jimmy Williams, number 45, one of the great linebackers for Arizona State, read the play early, made the tackle, and it's 2nd and very long.
Billy Robinson was putting pressure on Lowry. Robinson, a junior from Victorville, California. His strength is quickness. 2nd and 17. A lot of time here now to throw, and he's got him overthrown. Weegee Thompson intended for Weegee, and he was out of bounds around the 30, but couldn't get his hands on the football. So that'll bring up 3rd and 17. To get the first down, the Seminoles must get to the 37-yard line. Lowry has completed 4, but for only 18 yards total.
I said so far their passing attack has been on the conservative side. You know, if I was a receiver and we're playing a team like Arizona State and they go man-to-man, I'd be getting excited sooner or later.
Pro set offense again. Wideouts on each side with the split backfield. Lowry dropping. Good protection in the pocket. Firing to the right side and caught. A good catch by Tony Johnson and out of bounds. And he's got enough for the first down at the 26-yard line. Kevin Craven on the stop, on the coverage. A Free State team from Cleveland, Ohio. These two teams, without question, will recruit nationally. And all you have to do is look at their rosters and see where the players come from all over the nation.
Tony Johnson, number 82, a senior from Florida State, makes a very fine reception. It's man-to-man coverage. He's running what we call a post corner. He winds up to the outside. It's delivered. He makes a fine catch for the first down.
And on first down, a run to the left side won't get much. Cedric Jones trying to carry the ball from Valdosta, Georgia, a junior, and he didn't get much. Good defense from Arizona State. A very quiet crowd here with 70,000 on hand.
Well, they've got a lot to be quiet about, right?
At the moment, it's 7-0 Florida State, and the Seminoles threatening at the 26-yard line, where it'll be 2nd and 10. Hester bringing in a play from the sideline now with 2nd and 10 from the 26-yard line. 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. The Seminoles threatening and leading 7-0.
Let's see if Arizona State blitzes this time.
Hassan Jones wide to the left. Little pressure now, and Lowry's going to have to step up. He unloads it incomplete. Trying to hit Hester across the middle. Brian Noble putting the pressure on. He is another one of those junior college transfers, number 47, a junior from Anaheim, California, played at Fullerton. The Saints have a quarterback that had played that area, of course, and Dave Wilson played at Fullerton 1 year before going on to Illinois. It is 3rd and 10 from the 26-yard line. On the last third down, it was 3rd and 17, and Lowry got the first down, going to the shotgun. He is flanked by Jones and Allen. under pressure. Look out. Sack time back at the 35-yard line as Billy Robinson's quickness showed there. Even with the shotgun, Lowry had no time at all. He was lucky he got the snap.
Well, we talked about Arizona State liking to blitz. You know, you can see it right here. Arizona State feeling that they cannot compete with a lot of teams just going and trying to grind it out. So they like to blitz a lot. And that time, Billy Robinson, number 31, came in, made the stick on Kelly Lowry.
And you can see Jimmy Williams coming up the middle, and he had help from the outside. He had 3 guys really all over him, and Billy Robinson was the one that really made the hit. No one back for Arizona State now on 4th and 19 from the 35. Lewis Berry will try to angle this one out. He's going for the corner. Looks like a pretty good kick. He's going to bounce at the 1 and go into the end zone. Oh, so close, but it is a touchback, and the ball will be brought out to the 20-yard line. He could have used one of Jack's wedge shots there. Could have had it back up a bit. He would have had it made. Really had it angled down near the 1-yard line, but it just bounced into the end zone. As we mentioned, Jack Nicklaus is here tonight to watch the Seminoles. And at halftime, we'll be talking to Al Lawson, who's an alumnus of Florida State, a businessman, of course, and a member of the Florida House of Representatives. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. One back offense now as they send wideouts, 3 of them to the right side. And one back will get the call straight ahead. Dwayne Wright getting hit by Ken Rowe on the carry. Wright, coming into the game, had gained 200 yards, as we mentioned, averaging a little over 4 yards a carry. He gets 7 yards on that one out to the 27-yard line.
The Arizona State coaches really like Dwayne Wright because they feel he's one of those team players. He blocks well, he catches well, and of course with a guy like Mike Crawford and Darryl Clack, you need a guy like that.
2nd down and 3 from the 27. And again, it is Wright. He loses the football, and it appears that McClain has recovered. Florida State has recovered. It may have been Milligan who got the football, or McClain. But the Seminoles recover the football at the 30-yard line. And it was Milligan who gets credit for the recovery.
Well, you know, early in the year, Arizona State was a team that did not have very many turnovers, either interceptions or fumbles. And, of course, last week, I believe they lost 3 or 4 turnovers. And tonight, once again, they started off where they left off last week. And it's a big play at this point for Florida State.
Allen coming with 22 seconds remaining in the first quarter. And at the 30-yard line, it's 1st and 10. Out of the post set to the corner, and it is intercepted in the end zone. Bringing it out is Dale Walton. He's at the 20 and on the sideline across to the 24-yard line. The junior from Oceanside, California. His first interception, and it brings it out to the, well, near the 30. For a moment there, it appeared that he had Weegie Thompson in the end zone.
Well, so much for the big play. I think that's going to hurt at this point. Looks like there's a flag down right now.
Flag is down, and we'll have to wait for that call. It's on the far side where the tackle was made.
You can see Weegie is going, Kelly Lowry is going to Weegie all the way. Of course, the ball hangs a little bit, but Dale Walton, this time, instead of going man-to-man, was playing deep, playing center field, and he makes the interception right there.
And not only that, the penalty is going against Florida State, personal foul, and with a 30-yard return, you tack on the extra yardage, they're going to have excellent field position as the first quarter is winding down out to the 45-yard line with the 15-yard penalty.
Yeah, it looks like it was a scurrying call.
So with a personal foul, that's really a return of 45 yards because the interception was made in the end zone. First quarter is just about over here. Handoff straight ahead will get a few yards out to about the 48-yard line. So that should wrap up the first quarter. David Ponder on the stop for the Seminoles, and near midfield, the first quarter has come to a close, and it has been a 7-0 ball game from the first drive, and that's where the first quarter will wrap it up here in Tempe. So at the end of one quarter of play in Tempe, Arizona, the score: Florida State 7, Arizona State 7-0 Florida State leading as we start the second quarter of play. A good look at the head coach of the Arizona State Sun Devils, Darryl Rogers, and Bobby Bowden, the head coach of Florida State. This series tied up at 1-1. Each team having won, I guess, what you would consider the home game, the Fiesta Bowl here for Arizona State, and then in Tampa, Florida, the Seminoles winning there in a rain game. Crawford Crawford gets the call here, and on second down, he gets it to the Seminole 47-yard line. It'll bring up third and short yardage, 3rd and 2 as Carricker makes the stop. Oh, he's had a great year, hasn't he?
Sure has. Carricker is one of the defensive leaders for the team, and talking with the coaches last night from Florida State, they feel that Carricker, of course, is the key to this defense, and he's got to play a good, aggressive game. And Larry, I believe this is the first time Arizona State has been inside our 50-yard line.
That's true. Their first penetration of the midfield stripe. It is 3rd down 3. And, oh, Crawford is really belted. No, it was Henry Taylor, I believe, that came up. Henry Taylor really popped him.
Then we're going to see a replay here of Henry Taylor, number 58, making the stick on Mike Crawford. And that's what coaches love to see. That's good aggressive football right there.
Carricker and Milligan coming up to help, but it was Taylor who really lowered the boom on him and forces the punt now.
You know, those linebackers love plays like that.
So standing deep is Cedric Jones, as you see. Jim Meyer in punt formation, standing at his own 39-yard line. Just underway in the second quarter. Florida State leading it 7-0 in a long count. Snap is away. They're going after it again. Not quite there. Fair catch is taken and fumbled and then grabbed at the 10-yard line. So Jones, calling the fair catch, almost gave it right back to Arizona State. And they'll mark it down inside the 10, closer to the 9, where Florida State will employ 1st and 10, deep in their own territory. This is a beautiful stadium. As we mentioned, the Fiesta Bowl is played here, and it has really almost doubled in size, I imagine, or maybe tripled since you played here.
Well, I think back in 71, the capacity was a little over 50,000, maybe 55,000. Now you're over 70,000, so they've come a long way.
They've had 25,000 seats or so. 1st and 10 at the 9-yard line, going the other direction. High back for the Seminoles. And it's Allen. Well, he has to fight his way through Mitch Callahan out to about the 12-yard line. Callahan, a senior.
Number 26,
he is the strongest player on the Arizona State squad. Bench presses 430 pounds, and he is one of the returning starters on the nation's top defensive unit last year.
And as we said, I guess the lone senior.
3-yard pickup for Greg Allen. It'll be 2nd and 7. At the 12-yard line. 13 minutes to play in the first half. I don't know if that was a mix-up or what, but it was a little pitch out on the option, and Allen is outside for a first down to the 22-yard line. Kevin Craven on the stop. Little stutter step by Lowry made me think that maybe he had had a broken play there. But Allen was there for the pitch out, so I don't know.
You know what you could really see on that play is the acceleration Greg Allen has. He's such a tremendous athlete, and he's a great asset to Florida State University's offense. Of course, what made that play go, besides the pitch from Kelly, was a fine block by Tony Johnson, number 82, really paved the way for Greg Allen making that first down.
1st and 10 at the 22-yard line. And not much here. Greg Allen again on the call, and he gets out maybe a yard loss on the play. Mitch Callahan again on the stop, and as we mentioned, he is the nose guard. Now Greg is averaging 4 yards a carry, 4.2. Coming into the game, he was averaging 5.9. He's picked up 825 yards, so he's closing in on the 900-yard mark in this ball game right now in the first half. 2nd down 11, a loss on that one of a yard at the 21. Lowry to Jones. Jones with some running room. 30, 35, and slips and falls out to the 39. Kevin Craven gets credit for the tackle, but it was more of a slip, and he was finished off by Craven.
KC, Cedric Jones does a fine job this time of picking up the first down. Of course, he gets the blocking from Jim Thomas and Dan Morris.
Now, we walked out on the field today, and the field is in excellent condition. You call this a fast track.
It's a very fast track. It's a combination of Bermuda and rye. Of course, back in 71, it was nothing but dirt back then. They just painted it green.
Florida State with an edge of 8-1 on the first down, so they've marked it down at the 38-yard line. It is 1st and 10. 2 setbacks behind Lowry. Quick drop. Throws behind him, and it's incomplete. Intended for Hassan Jones. Hassan, a sophomore from Clearwater, Florida, has been one of the favorite targets of Kelly. This one goes incomplete. Jones is the third leading receiver on the club. He's actually tied with Jones, with Cedric Thompson being the leading receiver, and Hester 4 catches behind him. Thompson with 25, Hester 21, Jones, Hassan, and Cedric both with 18. Second down 10 from the 38. We expected a lot more scoring than this. It's 7-0 and 11 minutes to go in the half. Another option play, and the pitch made it in the right time, and Allen is running across midfield. One-on-one tackle by Craven across midfield to about the 44-yard line of Arizona State. And that was executed well by the quarterback, Lowry.
As we said earlier, Arizona State does not defense the option real well, and of course Kelly in Florida State runs it well, especially with a guy like that, number 26, Greg Allen. The key to this block, or this play, is Tom Wheeler's block, number 89, springing Greg Allen for the first down.
You know, Greg's stats would look a lot better, except that he had gotten in for one play against Auburn and did not get the ball on that one play, yet it counts as a game for his per-game average. First and 10 from the 44. Another quick drop and a quick out, and he's got Johnson, and Johnson's down the sideline, but it's going to be out of bounds. He stepped out at the 37. He made a pretty slick move there, and for a moment, it appeared he might break it down the sideline, but he had stepped out.
We call this the 90 game, or actually he just runs a quick out. And you know, Tony Johnson, once again, he's been a fine receiver for Florida State for the last 3 years. And you see him trying to jitterbug right down there. You can see his foot right there, and he stepped out of bounds. That kind of reminds me of Roosevelt Snipes against Auburn.
I was going to say
one
the
step
same
away
thing.
from, going for a TD.
Exactly the same thing. Lowry 6 of 12, 1 interception, 53 yards now as Hester brings into play. A good shot of him there. Bobby Bowden on the sideline. You can see Snipes getting some comments from the sideline. It is now 2nd and 3 at the 37. And Lowry, the option gets tripped up. Well, they had the option taken away from him that time. Allen was really well covered. Jimmy Williams on the stop. And they had a man on the pitch man, and Lowry could not make the pitch without maybe throwing an interception.
It looks like we got 3rd and 1.
From the 35-yard line. And again, they'll bring in Panton, number 96, who will line up as a tight end.
You know, Bobby's the gambler, and this is a situation right here that you may want to waste one and go deep. You might want to try to throw it down the field.
It is 3rd down 1 from the 35. And going for the first down to about the 33-yard line. Great battle on the stop as Cedric Jones picks up a big first down for the Seminoles. 9:54 to play in the first half. 7-0 Florida State. Opened up as an 80-yard drive, consuming a little more than 6 minutes. 14-play drive, and the Seminoles drew first blood. But now the game has pretty much been a punting game, except for this drive, and the Seminoles are threatening at the 32-yard line. Each team has had one turnover. Arizona State giving up a fumble at the 30. But then Lowry throwing an interception in the end zone to Walton to end that possible threat. 1st and 10 from the 32. The quick pitch to Allen. He's got problems. He's got a lot of problems. They've got a host of tacklers out there, and that defensive unit must have had 7 or 8 guys all around him. It's Gaddis and Robinson combined to make the hit.
You know, Florida State loves to run that quick pitch to Greg Allen, only that time, as you can see the replay right here, that Greg really didn't have any place to run. See Jamie Dukes trying to throw a block there, but he had good pursuit by Greg Battle and Jimmy Williams and Brian Noble there. Of course, there's a whole host of defenders there in that tackle.
That'll bring up 2nd down 11, a loss of a yard from the 33-yard line. Jesse Hester is wide left, an inside handoff, a quick one, and nowhere to go on this one. And again, Allen maybe gets a yard back to the original line of scrimmage at best. Jimmy Williams making the hit, 215-pound junior linebacker. Tell you what, this defense, as we mentioned, lost 7 or 8 players from the outstanding defense of a year ago, but they've got a lot of young players in the defense this year, and they're still, as you mentioned, I think ranked 18th nationally.
Currently, they've only been giving up a total of 286 yards per game coming into this one. But, of course, a lot of the ball players did have a chance to play last year. They still are young, but just don't have a great deal of experience.
3rd down 11. And Lowry under some pressure, throwing and a catch around the knees. Is it good? Yes, at the 22-yard line. Weegee Thompson grabbed that one at his knees and takes it out of bounds, close to a first down.
You can see Arizona State once again coming with the blitz by Kevin Gravin, number 6. Of course, Ouija makes a tremendous catch right here. You know, this is what being a receiver, this is what makes a good receiver, is being able to come up with the big catch, and this certainly is one right here. As you see, look at him go down, concentration tremendous.
Yeah, and on the replay, it's even lower than the knee. It was more like an ankle catch, and for a guy 6'6", that's a long ways down there. On the safety blitz, he was being hit. Lowry unloaded it. As you see the chain being stretched out, it is enough for the first down. How about that? On 3rd down 11, and the fans here unhappy with the call, Thompson comes up with a big catch. If you remember against Pittsburgh, it was almost the same type of play. Fans don't think that the feet were inbound.
Okay, we take a look at it right here. Okay, you figure he's got the ball right there, and his foot is already down. So that is a catch. It's a very good call by the officials.
I guess they were concerned whether he had possession of the ball, whether he juggled it. It looked like he had made a clean catch there.
Hey, that guy's got meat hooks.
You don't think he used tacks on his fingertips, do you?
No, I don't think it's raining
I've heard
tonight.
some receivers have done that. Here's the pitch behind Snipes and recovered by Arizona State. Billy Robinson recovering the fumble, or actually really a poor pitch behind Snipes, more than it was a fumble, and that will stop this threat.
Yeah, Larry, I think you called it right. It really was a poor pitch. He didn't really get a good pitch to Roosevelt Snipes. Of course, Billy Robinson recovers the fumble, and at this point is a big play for Arizona State.
David Fulcher was coming on a blitz and hit him just as he was trying to make the pitch and force the bad pitch, really, in defense of Lowry. It was Fulcher on a safety blitz straight ahead. So on the fumble recovery, Arizona State with the ball at the 33. And Hans wants to go deep down the sideline to Day, and off his fingertips. Incomplete. He was going for the sophomore speedster. This guy has got speed. He's on the Arizona track team as a sprinter. He was a running back converted into a flanker, and from San Diego, California, just a sophomore. He can fly.
Let me tell you what, Larry, that time Eric Riley got burned, and he's very lucky that Paul Day didn't come down with it. You know, that's a receiver's dream to be that wide open, and that's 6, and that could hurt Arizona State.
Arizona State getting 2 turnovers from the Seminoles. Seminoles with 1 turnover in the game. Recovering a fumble. And off straight ahead. This one out to about the 36-yard line. 7:45 to play in the first half. Brad Foydick on the tackle from Auburndale, Florida, senior, the nose guard. And it'll bring up now a 3rd down and 7 for the Sun Devils.
From a defensive standpoint, for Florida State side, this is a good position to be in 3rd and long. You figure they've only got a few options, and if you keep them that, sooner or later, it's going to come out to your advantage.
And you might look for Day, number 22, their speedster, on this one on 3rd down and 7, and now whistles blow. Florida State really having a good night on 3rd down conversions. Arizona State faced here with their 3rd one of the night, and they have yet to get a first down, and flags went everywhere on this, so this will be even making it tougher as they'll mark it off back to the 31-yard line.
You know, Larry, interesting statistic. At the end of the first quarter, Florida State had held the ball for over 10 minutes to Arizona's little over 4 minutes. Right there. Of course, that's the key. If Florida State can hold on the ball, which apparently they're going with a conservative game plan to try to keep Arizona, keep their hands away from it.
Darrell Rogers, the head coach there, pacing the sidelines. A legal procedure puts the ball back at the 31. It is 3rd and 12. 7 minutes to play in the first half. 2 widely set split backs, as you can see, in the pro set. And a quick pitch. A little surprise move here to Dwayne Wright to the outside, and Wright gets it out to about the 38 or 39, but it'll not be enough for a first down. They were lined up with a passing formation, but they kind of broke the tendency there and went with a quick pitch.
And you talk about a quick pitch, that was one right there. But Dwayne Wright, you know, senior running back, does a fine job, but comes up short of the first down. Pat Milligan, number 19, in on the tackle.
You know, teams watch those films and scout the tendencies so much that I guess 90% of the time you'll throw from that formation. You try to break them up defensively with the breaking of the tendency. Hassan Jones now is deep and not Cedric Jones. Number 88 is deep. Florida State with 2 other upbacks around midfield, so they're not. Whoa, here's a little fake now, and Dwayne Wright gets a first down to the 46-yard line. Or was it Tupper? It was right. 46. How about that now? Both coaches gambling a bit. We saw Bobby Bowden gamble on 4th and goal and get the touchdown. And now Darrell Rogers says, hey, I got a few tricks of my own.
Well, you know, Larry, obviously I'm a Florida State fan, but my hat's off to Darrell Rogers. That's a great call this early in the ball game. I like it. It's a gutsy call, and it's needed to get Arizona State uncranked.
And the fake punt now gets a first down. I guess you can consider that a 4th down conversion, right?
I guess so.
And whistles blowing here, penalty flag, and it may have been too much time. Offensive unit so excited about the first down that the special teams got them that they didn't get the playoff in time. They're probably still talking about it in the huddle. There it is, delay of game. So at the 40-yard line, it'll be 1st and 15. 5:37 to play in the first half. Florida State still leading 7-0, and that was the opening drive of the game. Since then, each team has either turned the ball over or had to punt it away. Slot right formation, and rolling to that side is Hans, throwing and out of bounds, stopping the clock at the 45-yard line. The catch made by Jerome Weatherspoon. So with 5:21 to go, they'll have it at the 45-yard line. That gets back the 5 yards that they had lost on the penalty. It'll be 2nd and about 11, really.
You know, Todd Hans, the coaches like him because he's got quick feet, and he really is an excellent thrower. And Weatherspoon, number 89, makes a fine reception. Nothing more than a quick out pattern.
Slot left formation this time with the eye backs. And a play action with some time and a receiver at the 45-yard line and rolling out of bounds. Apparently enough for the first down is Paul Day. Day only weighs 159 pounds, and that may be stretching it a bit.
What made this play, Florida State was in a man-to-man coverage right there, and they had ASU had 2 receivers on one side. Paul Day, number 22, being in the slot, running the out pattern. He's wide open, makes the catch for the first down.
So it's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line.
Stan Moore at 934-2332.
4:54 to play. The quick pitch coming to the right side and getting some room is Crawford, and he gets it down inside the 40-yard line to about the 38. Ken Rowe making the stop, the senior linebacker from Crockwell, Alabama.
Well, at this point, I think that 4th down conversion has kind of lit a fire underneath Arizona State's offense. And you can see Crawford under some fine blocking, running for the first down, and a whole host of Florida State defenders in on the tackle that time.
2nd and 4 from the 38. Quick pitch to the near side this time. He's got some room, makes a good move across the 30. He's down the sideline. He went out of bounds. He went out of bounds at the 24-yard line. Enough for a first down going down the sideline, and that was a sure 6 had he not stepped out. Boy, oh boy, he was off to the races.
Well, we've got another angle right here, and you see Mike Crawford, number 30, and Brian McCrary, I guess, forced him out of bounds. You can see him trying to gain his balance, and you can see him step right there on the line.
Yep.
There you go.
His second foot was more than the first one.
Yep.
I think he realized it, too. He was tiptoeing it down that sideline. There's Darrell Rogers congratulating him and giving him a bit more of encouragement.
That's the 12th defensive back.
Yes, it is. Wright is in there, and the handoff to the right side is Mike Cade. So Cade gets it down to the 21-yard line.
So Arizona State becoming a little more aggressive. Their offensive line is doing a fine job, and once again, when we talk about Mike White and James Keaton being the key to their running attack, and right now they're getting a good surge off the ball.
It is 2nd and 7 from the 21. Cade again to the left side. Rowe coming up to make the hit. He's going to get it down to the 16-yard line, short of a first down by about 2, maybe 3 at best.
It's funny how momentum changes.
Boy, it is, and the fake punt right now is looming as the big play of this quarter. 3:17 to play in the half. 7-0 Florida State. 3rd down 3, Arizona State at the 17. In motion, the tight end Kern. Crawford. He's got very close and appears to have gotten the first down to the 14-yard line. First down, Arizona State. The Sun Devils getting the first down inside the Seminoles 15. Day is coming in from the sideline now to bring in a play.
You know, the key to that play, number 81, Don Kern, was in motion, you know, from the tight end. He came across a fine block on the defensive end of Florida State, making way for the first down.
First down 10 at the Seminole 14 with 2:51 to play in the half. They have checked off at the line going to the I-backs, and the handoff straight ahead to Crawford. Carricker is there, so is Taylor. Taylor may have gotten the first shoulder into him. Carricker finished him off, and he got it down maybe to the 13. We'll give him a yard on the carry. Todd Hans, number 1, looking at the sideline for a possible call from there.
You know, one thing I'd like to remind all the fans, in addition to the highlights of the first half of this game, of course, we're going to be with Bob Warren at halftime. We're going to go over the scores of some of the other college games tonight on Channel 6. So stay tuned at halftime.
Tupper and Crawford in the backfield now on 2nd and 9 from the 13. And here's a pass back to Hans, the quarterback, to the 5. First down and goal, and out of bounds at the 1-yard line. They got it to Crawford, and Crawford, passing this year, was 2 for 2. He is now 3 for 3, and he's throwing for a touchdown.
That's a great play. It's another great play. You've got two fine coaches right here, and both of them are trying to go, being aggressive, trying to go for the win. You're going to see Hans just pitching out to Mike Crawford. He thinks he's going to run, you know, an off-tackle play or something, and Crawford throwing it back to Hans, who picks up the first down, almost gets in the end zone, but number 9, Steve Bloodworth, coming up with the TD saving tackle.
Well, we expected a high-scoring game. We may not have that, but we're going to certainly have an exciting one here with 1:52 to go. There's a timeout here in the second quarter with the score, Florida State 7, Arizona State nothing.
In the gray, uncertain side of personal finance, it's real.
First and goal at the 1, 1:52 to play in the half. Two tight ends are in. In fact, they've got, they got Kern and Ahrens, and a wingback on the right side. And a handoff goes straight ahead to right, and he does not get it from the 1. He's very close. 1:44 to go. Henry Taylor, the linebacker, really clogging up that middle. Arizona State thought they had scored. They've got it down about where Florida State had it when Lowry went in for the touchdown on a quarterback sneak, right about the foot line. So you've got Wright and Tupper, two big fullbacks in there, along with the tight end on each side. And let's see what they do here. The quick pitch. Going to the outside, and it is a touchdown by Cade. That's his first touchdown of his career. A senior from Eloy, Arizona, has tied this game. If the extra point is good, it is at least 7-6 at this stage.
And there go the fireworks. And you can see the replay right here. Mike Cade just taking the pitch out. Of course, the FSU's defense was all bunched in. I figure it's going to be a quarterback sneak, and Cade goes in for the touchdown.
1-yard sweep, I guess we could call that.
I understand that his brother Massey is a starting defensive back for Texas.
Well, that makes it interesting at Thanksgiving time at home. Zendejas, this extra point is good, but there is a flag down. We'll wait for that call before we do anything. Zendejas' extra point has apparently tied it. The flag apparently going against Florida State as they're talking it over here. And we'll see, it is roughing the kicker, perhaps. Nope, let's see. What is... Roughing the kicker. Yep, that's what the call will be. So let's take the break with 1:14 to go in the half. It's all tied in Tempe, Arizona. Florida State 7, Arizona State 7. A 67-yard drive in 15 plays, consuming 6 minutes and 45 seconds of time. And Cade's 1-yard run and Zendejas' kick makes it a 7-7 game with 1:14 to play. That drive started as a result of a fumble recovery at Arizona State's 33-yard line. They had a fake punt on 4th down that gave them a first down, and a halfback pass for the quarterback down to the 1. So they had a lot of interesting plays to keep that drive alive.
You know, Larry, Florida State fans remember last year when we played Ohio State, we had a similar play. I believe it was a throw from Tony Smith back to Kelly Lowry for a touchdown. So it's amazing, you know, when you get a good athlete at the quarterback position, the different things that you can do.
Keep in mind the penalty of roughing the kicker has been assessed here, so Arizona State is kicking from their own 45-yard line. And the hands team, it appears, is out there for Florida State. They're looking for a possible onside kick. 1:14 to play. He's going to kick it high and short. Going to the sideline and taking it at the 12 or 13-yard line is Snipes. And he's got some room and blockers out front. He's going to run right through his blockers. He gets good running room, though, out to the 43, but had he waited for his blockers a little more, he might have broken that one all the way. Billy Robinson makes the tackle. How about that?
Roosevelt Snipes, of course, from the rushing end of it, is averaging 7.2, and this gives you an idea about what kind of speed that this man has. You know, if he just waited for his blocker, Hassan Jones, he might have been able to cut to the outside and gone for a fine shot right here. This is what you call shaking and baking right here. It's exciting for a running back to get into the open field like that.
I was going to say, it's easy for us to say, hey, wait for your blockers, but when you see those maroon jerseys closing in, you don't want to wait for anybody.
Right. I bet you they're a lot bigger down there than they are from up here.
That's right. All right, there's 1 minute and 8 seconds remaining in the first half. The ball at the 42-yard line. Florida State has 3 timeouts remaining. Arizona State has 2. Quick pass to Thompson, one-on-one, and he gets out of bounds at the first down at the Arizona State 46-yard line. Bruce Hill kind of slings him out of bounds. Had he been able to break loose there, he would have been down that sideline.
Well, Arizona State coming with the blitz again, except Florida State does a fine job of keeping them out. And Kelly delivers the ball to Weegee Thompson, who is digging for the first down, and you see him right there. He's got it.
Whoa, Sisson got belted along that sideline as well. 1 minute and 3 seconds to go. First half, it's all tied at 7. Kelly 8 of 14, 1 interception, and for 76 yards, blitz is being shown. They're going to go with a 4-man rush as Lowry rolls to the sideline. He's going to go deep down the sideline, and incomplete as he was, well, falling to the turf was Weegee Thompson. Weegee, for a moment there at 6'6", looked like he might have a shot at playing a little alley-oop. But Kevin Graven was with him step for step, and he got tripped up and fell.
That really was a fine call by the officials. Of course, at that time, you know, you hope to see the flag thrown, but, you know, Weegee just got his feet tangled up and fell on his own effort there.
Weegee's going to go to the sideline, and Jesse Hester will bring the play in from the sideline. Looks like Greg Allen is checking in, too.
I'd like to just remind the fans that John Joyce, following the Bob Warren halftime report, will have a brief news update, so stay tuned.
5 defensive backs in there now, the nickel D for Arizona State, and they're showing blitz, and they're coming. And Lowry's having to unload quickly, and it's incomplete. The intended receiver was number 89, and that was the tight end Tom Wheeler, and it was simply a case of the defensive blitz not giving Lowry enough time to really set up.
I think Florida State in this 2-minute offense is going to see a lot of blitzing, probably almost every down, and David Fulcher really put the pressure on Kelly Lowry along with Jimmy Williams and Tom Wheeler trying to make the catch, but it was tough.
Fulcher, the free safety coming, he has really blitzed 3 or 4 times tonight already. He's really an active guy back there in that secondary. You don't see the safety blitz that often, and to see it that often in the first half alone is something to see. There's a timeout called with 51 seconds to play here in the first half. Timeout. The score remains Florida State 7, Arizona State 7. Larry Matson with Barry Smith here in Tempe, Arizona. 51 seconds to play in the first half. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining. It's 7-7. And Florida State 3rd down 10 at the 46. Shotgun formation. Cedric Jones running wide on the handoff, but not much room. Good running, good hard running, but he doesn't get to midfield. Mitch Callahan, the nose guard, along with linebacker Jimmy Williams, combining to make the hit. And it'll bring up 4th and 14 with a loss of 4 on that one.
Cedric Jones trying to run the reverse draw. Unfortunately, Jimmy Williams, number 45, had other plans for Cedric Jones, and he comes up with the tackle, and looks like Florida State is probably going to have to punt. Well,
I want to mention here, as the first half is drawing to a close, a congratulatory note to you, Barry, for becoming a father this past week. And I understand our old friend here, Dennis Boyle, will be a father in June.
That's correct. Thank you.
And it's down to 5 seconds, down to 3. They're going to let the clock run out here in the first half. We're going to go to the locker room all tied up in Tempe, Arizona. on a beautiful night. The temperature's probably in the high 70s right now. So we'll have a halftime guest. Mr. Al Lawson will be along with us. And we've got a break in the action as we reach halftime with the score all tied. Florida State 7, Arizona State. Hello, everybody. It's halftime in Tempe, Arizona. Larry Matson along with Al Lawson here. It's 7-7, Arizona State and Florida State. Beautiful night for football in Sun Devil Stadium. Al Lawson is a businessman, an alumnus of Florida State, and a member of the House of Representatives for the state of Florida. We welcome you here to halftime.
Very happy to be here.
As an alumnus of Florida State, we'd like to ask you some questions, and I guess the first one would be your impressions, of course, of the university's academic program.
Well, I think the university is doing an outstanding job in the academic world. You know, we have a couple of distinguished professors on board. Dr. Kurt Walheim, distinguished professor of international law, former Secretary General of the United Nations, and Dr. Paul Dirac, Nobel Prize winner in physics. Dr. Dirac is doing an outstanding job, you know, and this is great for the students. Many of the faculty members are a member of the National Science Academy, and many of our programs have won national awards: physics, international law, many theater. I guess I could go on and on and on.
Well, as a businessman, as an alumnus, and as a legislator, what do you see as the future of Florida State and Tallahassee?
Well, I think Florida State's going to have to continue to mix with the business community, because we are looking forward to a lot of economic growth, not only in Florida, but in Tallahassee. I think that the university going to continue to have to reach out in the community to our state workers, offer more continuing education, and develop more and more in the high-tech, high-touch area. But I think overall that we must also keep our concentration on the arts and sciences, because it's very important for a well-rounded education.
Of course, from time to time you hear about a possible merger between Florida State and Florida A&M University. What are your thoughts on that, and what are the possibilities?
Well, I don't think that the possibilities are great right now. I am personally opposed to a merger. I've talked to both university presidents, and they are opposed also to a merger. I think both of the institutions play a very vital role and have distinct histories. And I think they'll make an outstanding contribution not only to Tallahassee, the state of Florida, the nation, but the world. And I think that no one have ever been able to come up with any particular savings that we would have in the university system by merging these two schools.
You're a former athlete. What are your thoughts on the academics and the athletics? Is athletics maybe perhaps too much emphasized?
I don't think so. I think athletics plays a very important role in the education of our youngsters. It provides scholarship. And if you can remember, on one of the national televised game, the athletic department gave about $100,000 to the university academic side. I think that that it's very important that athletics gives the university academic programs a great deal of exposure throughout the country and aid in recruiting.
All right, Al, thank you very much for being with us here tonight.
Very good to be with you.
Al Lawson, it's halftime here in Tempe, Arizona. The score all tied. Florida State 7, Arizona State 7. All right, it's all tied at 7-7 as we open the third quarter of play here in Tempe, Arizona. Larry Matson along with Barry Smith. Florida State will be kicking off right to left as we view it. And we're underway in the third quarter. Expecting to be a high-scoring game here. It's just been 7-7 throughout the first half. Each team with one really good sustained drive. Florida State getting the opening drive. Turn around, Jack. We've got Jack Nicklaus here, and let me just say very quickly, you're here not only to open up a golf course, but helping to support Florida State with your presence.
Well, I'm out here to open a golf course and just conveniently be able to go to the ball game. It's really a pleasure for me.
Of course, your son plays for Florida State, and I know you like to see him get in some action.
Yeah, I was kind of looking forward to a 28-7 halftime, so we get to play some in the second half.
All right, Jack, good luck to you. Thanks for being with us here at halftime.
Good for being.
All right, the Golden Bear here at halftime, and now let's get back to football action. First down and 10, Arizona State at the 20-yard line on the touchback, and a handoff straight ahead. Again, this is their big fullback, and I guess one thing we haven't mentioned much about, Dwayne Wright picking up some yardage straight ahead. The first half stats really not what we expected it to be. 89 yards rushing for Florida State, 71 Arizona State. The passing 76, only 35 for Arizona State, and totally 165 to 106. Way down from what you'd expect from two high-powered offenses. So really, let's give credit to both defenses tonight, really containing two of the nation's most potent attacks. Quick pitch to the outside, out to about the 24, and It'll bring up 3rd down 6. One thing we have failed to mention, though, I guess, is the fact that Darryl Clack really has not seen any action. We said at the opening we did not expect him to get in the game because of a hip pointer, and he has not been in there.
Well, so far, of course, Mike Crawford has done an outstanding job for Arizona State taking the place of Darryl Clack. Once again, it's a non-pack conference game, and of course that might be a determination on that.
It is 3rd down and 7, and Hans, under some pressure, won't get it away. Back at the 11-yard line, David Ponder, the senior from Cairo, Georgia, breaks through and makes a big tackle. And that'll force a punt, and not only that, give Florida State perhaps excellent field position. Hans has passed for almost 670 yards in the past 2 games. He had 2 300-yard games last year as a junior, and now this year he's had 3 of them. So he is well down from his average and only 35 yards in his first half.
Well, if we can keep pressure on him like Ponder showed that last play, it's going to be tough for him to get anything like that tonight.
Jim Meyer is deep in punt formation, about 3 yards deep in his own end zone. He gets it away. Hassan Jones fields it at the 33, gets a block, and gets good field position for the Seminoles out to the 38-yard line. That was a beautiful kick. He really belted that one. Meyer was 3 yards deep in his end zone and knocked that one 55 yards.
Larry, I've just been told that Greg Battle, the outstanding linebacker for Arizona State, number 37, is out with a sprained ankle and probably will not play the second half. And, of course, that could hurt Arizona State. Willie Green's going to have to take the slack on that one.
Green is a senior, Battle a sophomore, but Battle was a starter last year on that outstanding defense as a freshman. This is Greg Allen, and Billy Robinson wraps him up. This has been much more of a defensive battle than we thought it would be. We thought it had the feeling of being an 80 or 90 point ball game.
Because it shows you how much we know about football, right?
That's right.
But I think, both teams are still playing a little conservative from the offensive standpoint, except for, a few plays there tonight. But I think they want a controlled type offense, trying to keep the other team away from the ball.
Arizona State 4-1-1 on the year, and they're looking toward a bowl game. Florida State 4-3, certainly looking at a bowl game with a victory here tonight would get that impetus going. And off the fingertips of Greg Allen, incomplete. Jimmy Williams on the coverage. That Williams has been just about everywhere, whether it's been a short yardage play up the middle, a sweep to the outside, or a pass. It seems he's around the ball.
Well, Florida State is going to have to become more effective in not only protecting the quarterback, but also throwing the pass and getting the receivers down the field. That time, if you're throwing to Greg Allen out in the flat, he's on the line of scrimmage. He's still got 10 yards to go. We're going to have to get the backs up the field against man-to-man coverage.
All right, 3rd down conversion, 6 of 10 for Florida State. It is now 3rd and 10 from the 38. And Lowry with a quick drop is going to fire incomplete, and he tried to hit Weegee Thompson, and it was behind him. Bruce Hill, the cornerback on the coverage, who's only 5'11". Thompson is 6'6".
Once again, Jimmy Williams from Arizona State coming in on the blitz. And Greg Allen, Kelly Lowry not able to deliver the ball to Weegee Thompson, and it's an incomplete pass.
There are 5 bowls represented here tonight. Fiesta, of course, being the home stadium of the Fiesta Bowl, the Blue Bonnet, the Holiday Bowl, and the Sun Bowl among them. You've got a special note on the other one. Here's the kick, and Onofrio will take it at the 24-yard line. Makes a nice move, but didn't get anywhere with it to the 27-yard line. That 5th bowl being the Citrus Bowl.
Last night I had a chance to talk to a couple individuals that represented the Citrus Bowl, and of course they mentioned a great deal of interest in having Florida State coming down to Orlando for the Citrus Bowl. Of course, it used to be known as the Tangerine, and they mentioned a possible matchup between us and Ohio State, which of course Ohio State being a very fine ball club, probably be a good matchup.
Boy, that would be a great one. Big Ten against the Southern Independent. 1st and 10 at the 27-yard line. 12:06 to play in the 3rd quarter. It's all tied 7-7. That was Kern in motion, and now the pitch to Crawford to the outside, and he gets maybe to the 30-yard line, a gain of 2. Kern is 6'4", 210, senior tight end, and he is from Los Gatos, California. Went to junior college there. We have not seen much of him in this ball game, and he is their leading receiver with 23 catches. Their passing attack has really been shut down, although he hasn't thrown really that much. And in the first half, Hans was only 3 of 6, so he's only tried it 6 times. And here he is throwing, and this time he's got to complete across the 40. And here we go with Kern out close to midfield at the 48. Maybe I shouldn't have mentioned it. He was quiet until I mentioned that. Makes a big catch, and Pat Milligan makes the stop, the senior strong safety.
Well, Hans here on the play fake, and he's looking for Don Kern all the way. Don Kern, the starting tight end, the senior for Arizona State, makes a fine catch, and he's got the first down.
He's got good size. He could probably gain 20 or 30 more pounds. At 6'4", 210, he's got the framework. It's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. I backfield, and the quick pitch out of the eye. Crawford across midfield into Seminole territory at the 48. Isaac Williams and Steve Bloodworth combining to make the hit. 2 sophomores. Isaac Williams from Sanford and Steve Bloodworth from Gainesville.
We've got a player down, Larry. I think Steve Bloodworth, number 9.
And he is the young man from Gainesville, as we mentioned, 5'8", 165-pounder, a sophomore, and he's got about 163 pounds of guts. He is really, really strong. He's got a hand. Looks like it may have been his hand that he banged up. And may have been a nerve. He's there working with his shoulder, too. It is now 2nd and 6. Hans throwing. He's got to complete inside the 30. Nice catch coming across the middle. Eric Riley making the hit on Jerome Weatherspoon, the senior wide receiver, number 89.
Hans looking for Weatherspoon all the way. What makes this play, Florida State is in a man-to-man coverage, and Weatherspoon running a fine square-in pattern. He finds the hole right there in front of Eric Riley, and Arizona State has a first down.
He's got almost as many yards on this drive as he had in the first half in throwing the football. 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line. They reset the offense into an I-back formation, and it's Crawford. He was hit almost right away by Brad Foydick, the nose guard, and he's going to get it down maybe to the 28-yard line, a gain of a couple of yards, and I guess officially they'll call it 1. It'll be 2nd and 9. You see Darrell Rogers there without the hat. And it'll be 2nd down 9 from the 28-yard line. Rolling to the right is Hans, and he gets a reception and short of a first down. This one again to Weatherspoon. You can see the first down marker there, and he stepped out of bounds at the 21-yard line.
Weatherspoon making another fine reception, and Todd Hans seems to have found the touch right now. He's completed 2 in a row, and Arizona State is driving.
Well, he hasn't thrown to Weatherspoon very much this year. In fact, he has gone to Kern and Day and Allen and Clack. Weatherspoon had 11 receptions coming into the ball game, and he's picked up a couple right here on this drive. 3rd down and 3. This one batted away, and he almost caught his own pass. He's had 2 receptions in his career, his first pass, and then he had the reception in the first half that kept the drive alive. Carricker batting that one away, incomplete. It'll bring up 4th and 3, and we may see the field goal kicker, the All-American Luis Zendejas, who has not had a field goal in 6 quarters.
We'll take another look at this. You see Alfonso Carricker really getting high, batting that ball down, and looks like probably going to save us at least a touchdown. And
this one will be a try from the 29, so make it a 39-yard attempt. Zendejas, the leading scorer in Arizona State history, is long enough, and it is good. So he connects on a 39-yard field goal, and there's a timeout here in Tempe, Arizona. With 9 minutes and 42 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter, the score now, Arizona State 10, Florida State 7. All right, it's 10-7. Arizona State scoring here in the 3rd quarter on a 50-yard drive that took 8 plays, and Zendejas will be kicking off. Rosie Snipes is the deep back, as you see, standing just inside his own 1-yard line. Zendejas is an All-American kicker, and he gets it away a deep and about 5 yards into the end zone. Snipes will kneel it down. He had some thoughts of bringing that one out, Barry.
Well, I'm glad he stopped, because that could have been awful dangerous trying to run it out from there.
I know every kick return man, and you've been one, enjoys bringing it out, but there are times where it's just not wise to do so. And that was one of those times.
Well, what's the saying? Discretion is the better part of valor.
That's it. There's the scoring drive. Just 2:24 consumed on the clock. A 50-yard drive. And 39-yard field goal by Zendejas, his first one in 6 quarters. 1st and 10 at the 20. Eye backs, and Lowry will fake the handoff, go with a pitch. And this is Snipes, and Snipes, his first carry officially, gets it out to the 39-yard line. Jimmy Williams combining to make the hit with Bruce Hill. Snipes had one other opportunity in the first half, but it was a pitch that was misguided because of being tackled as he got it away, and it was ruled a fumble.
You know, once again, the thing I'd like to point out, of course, Rosie Snipes does a great job running the ball, but so far we've been effective on those options, really by the offensive wide receivers throwing very fine blocks. And a lot of times you don't see that, receivers blocking.
Snipes picks up 18 yards and a first down at the 38-yard line. Lowry on the option. They take the pitch away from him, so he turns it upfield and gets good yardage out to the 45-yard line. Free safety David Fulcher, a leading tackler on the team from Los Angeles, California. A sophomore makes the hit. He's the fellow we've been talking about that was a wide receiver. At 6'3", 195, they blitz him a lot. We've seen him blitz as many times in the first half as you'll see a safety sometimes in 3 or 4 games.
He's also picked up 3 interceptions, too. Fine athlete.
It is 2nd down and 2 from the 46-yard line. They're taking that pitch away, Barry, here in the second half. They've adjusted in the locker room. Thompson in motion, and Snipes gets it to midfield and a first down for Florida State. David Fulcher again on the stop with Mitch Callahan. There's the nose guard and a free safety combining to make the hit.
I guess they must be giving Greg Allen a little breather right now.
Florida State with a pretty good edge in first downs, 14-9, but Arizona State has scored the last 10 points in this game. The Seminoles scoring on the opening drive of the game, but they have not been able to get on the board since. Part of that has been because of an interception in the end zone and a fumble recovery by Arizona State at their own 33. This one will get it down to about the 46-yard line, and Mitch Callahan again on the stop. Ball carrier straight ahead was Cletus Jones. He is from Miami, a sophomore, 215-pounder. So it'll be 2nd down and 6 at the 46. Beautiful night here in Tempe, Arizona. We've been blessed with great weather. You know, a month ago we would have been waddling around in the water here. They had quite a flood here and in Tucson, about 100 miles away. And here's Lowry running wide to the right. Dale Walton on the stop. He is the strong safety coming up quickly. The junior from Oceanside, California, to make the hit. To bring up 3rd and a long 4 yards.
Well, Larry, as you said earlier, that they're certainly taking away the pitch man, and 47, Brian Noble, the outside linebacker, has taken Rosie Snipes, and Kelly has to keep the ball himself, trying to fight for that yardage.
This place is jam-packed now. As we mentioned, we expected 70,000 plus in this stadium, and it has been sold out. The interesting note was that they were not all here at the kickoff of the game, and they tell me that they'll leave early. They like to arrive late and leave early. Hassan Jones out of bounds with a first down on the receiving end of a Lowry pass at the 37-yard line. But they're all here now as we take a look around. There is not a seat, or very few, if any. 37-yard line, 1st and 10 Seminoles, 6:57 to play, 3rd quarter.
Now, Florida State is staying with that short passing attack, the conservative approach, going to the quick out or the quick slant to their wide receivers. I'm surprised they're not doing, getting more to the outside, some deeper patterns, especially square in patterns against the man-to-man coverage.
Lowry with time. And Weegee Thompson could not keep his feet, and he's dropped at the 12-yard line. Dale Walton on the coverage. But Weegee would have been gone for the score had he been able to keep his balance. Well, we want to thank Jack Nicklaus for joining us here at halftime. That was interesting. And, of course, it was right at the start of the 3rd quarter, so we didn't have much time to talk with him.
Well, we just talked about the short passing attack, and he finally decides to go deep. Weegee Thompson, really an outstanding athlete. You know, if Seminole fans remember, he was recruited as a quarterback, and now he's an outside receiver. He's done a fine job for Florida State.
1st and 10 at the 12. Lowry to the corner. Hester incomplete. Bruce Hill on the coverage from Lancaster, California, a sophomore. And we keep bringing this up, the fact that Arizona State has recruited a number of players from California, and on this defensive unit, a number of them are sophomores and juniors. So you're going to see quite a defense returning here next year for Arizona State. It is 2nd and 10 from the 12. 5 defensive backs in for the Sun Devils. Snipes up the middle. He's going to break it in for the touchdown. Roosevelt Snipes was not heard from in the first half except for one play, and here, taking it straight ahead from 12 yards out, has given the lead back to Florida State.
Well, Rosie Snipes comes through, and the touchdown, as you can see on the replay right here, that's strictly nothing but a quick hitter up the middle, but Rosie has the option of going inside and out, and he cut back, and a very fine move for the touchdown.
Now Philip Hall will try the extra point. Placement, kick is up. It is high and long, and it is good. And with 6:27 remaining here in the third quarter, we've got a timeout, a break in the action in Tempe, Arizona. The score now, Florida State 14, Arizona State 10. All right, an 80-yard drive. An 80-yard drive in 9 plays. And it is now 14-10. Florida State by 4.
Well, Larry, the key to that drive really was the outstanding blocking of Florida State's offensive line. You know, guys like John Ionata and Ricky Redner and Sam Restivo, those guys are really starting to come around.
Barry Barco prepares to kick off for the Seminoles. Cade and Day are deep for Arizona State. And on the far side, it'll be taken by Day, and he's got some speed. Look out for him. He's across the 20 and out of bounds near the 25-yard line. He is a sprinter on the track team. You know, they've got an outstanding baseball program here, as most people know, and an outstanding track team as well. And a lot of these athletes on this football team will play both sports. Channing Williams, we have not seen a freshman for Arizona State, is 5'11", 200, and he's also on the baseball team.
Larry, Kim Mack is limping out on the sidelines there. I have to find out what's the matter.
6:22 to go, third quarter, 14-10 Florida State. 1st and 10 at the 24, Arizona State with the ball. This is Crawford. Breaks through one tackle and gets it out near the 25-yard line.
Mike Crawford, the ball carrier, stopped by number 38, Ken Rowe.
Ken Rowe gets credit for the tackle. So the ball at the 24-yard line. And on play action now, Hans is going deep. He's got a man, but Riley is there, and it's intercepted. Penalty flag is down, but Riley is running it back in midfield. He gets outside of the 40. And he's going to take it down to the 35-yard line, but a flag was dropped at the 38 before that pass really got downfield.
Well, Larry, Eric Riley made an outstanding defensive play, really going high for the interception.
Apparently against the Seminoles, though, Barry, and that may nullify the play. Pass interference against Florida State will nullify the interception by Riley. And a nice run back at that. Instead of the Seminoles having it at the 35-yard line, it'll be Arizona State's football.
Larry, we have a mystery player out there for Florida State.
Well, it's Jones, number 55. I've been looking it up myself.
Maybe they picked him up on waivers from some university.
Well, we got a lot of Joneses. Cletus and Cedric and Hassan and F. Jones. Here's the quick pitch to the near side. Penalty flags dropped as Dwayne Wright gets it out to the 47-yard line. Steve Bloodworth on the stop. Dwayne Wright, a senior from Dallas, Texas, and naturally they call him Tex.
It looks like we've got a flag down again, and it looks like it's a holding penalty against Arizona State.
We'll get the official word from Robert Beal, and it is that. And that will be brought back against the Arizona State Sun Devils here in Sun Devil Stadium. 5:32 to play. Third quarter. Darrell Rogers on the sideline, very calm at the moment.
Let's take a look at it again, see if we can pick up the holding. Okay, you can see the number 81, Don Kern, holding.
I'll tell you what, Steve Bloodworth, number 9, who made the tackle, took on James Keaton, number 75, a 275-pounder. Bloodworth weighs 165 soaking wet. He gives up almost 100 pounds.
Well, I understand that Keaton is actually bigger than what's recorded down there.
The 275 that's listed there.
He's a big man.
So he's got 100 pounds on him, and Bloodworth was able to play off the block and make the hit. 1st and 17 at the 30-yard line. And they're checking off at the line of scrimmage. Dropping to throw, Hans has a man across the 40 out to the 43-yard line. The tight end Don Kern, his favorite target. And he gets it out to the 43, which will bring up, maybe 7 yards short of a first down. It'll bring up 2nd down. We'll give him pretty good return on that, about 10 yards, although they're saying more than that on the scoreboard at the moment.
Hans reading the coverage very good. Florida State was doubling the outside receivers, and it leaves a one-on-one coverage with your tight end, and Don Kern simply found the hole over the middle, makes a fine reception.
Well, it does bring up a 2nd and 4. And this again is right. At number 55 that's out there for Florida State is Fred Jones, a freshman who is 6'3", 230-pounder.
You think his heart is pumping right now?
Well, he's doing a fine job out there, and he's having a good time with 70,000 fans on hand in a beautiful stadium against a team that was ranked number 6 last year at the end of the season, when Arizona State went 10-2. 3rd down and 1 from the 46. Quick pitch, Crawford gets through, and it'll be Ken Rowe who makes the hit, and really a saving tackle, as Crawford was out and breaking it loose across midfield to the 46-yard line of the Seminoles.
You see Crawford splitting Alfonso Carricker and John McLean. They almost had the tackle, but almost doesn't count, and he makes a fine run, and he's picked up the 1st down.
Well, he gained 276 yards coming into this game. This is his finest night this year. 72 yards rushing already in this ball game in the 3rd quarter. 3:36 to play, and here he is again. Down near the 40-yard line of Florida State. They'll mark it at the 41. And he's close to 80 yards now on the night. Picks up 5 there, so it's going to be 2nd and 5, and he's got 77 yards.
So, Arizona State is, from an offensive standpoint, is getting into a situation that's very good. You got 2nd and 5. You have now the option to run or pass, and it makes it a little bit tougher on the defense to try to figure out what you're going to do.
And Hans only threw it 6 times in the first half, and he threw it that many times here in the 3rd quarter. 3 minutes to go, 3rd quarter, and he's going to go with a quick pitch to Crawford to the near side, and he gets close to a 1st down. Very close at the 37-yard line.
He's picked up by number 71, Todd Stroud.
Todd Stroud out of St. Pete, a sophomore, makes the hit the nose guard. You can see on the sideline there as Arizona State is going to bring in a play with Paul Day, number 22, as Bobby Bowden now will check with his defense.
This is what you call gut check time right here.
It is 3rd down and 1 at the 37. High backs. Crawford is the deep back with Wright, the fullback, and Wright gets the call straight ahead inside the 35. Enough for the 1st down, and Arizona State has a drive and threatening at the Florida State 34. Seminoles leading by 4 points with 2:19 to go in the 3rd quarter. Stroud again on the stop.
Don't forget to support the ASU offense.
2:16, the clock moves. 3rd quarter action, 14-10. We keep telling you the time and where we are in the ballgame because back home it's past midnight, and you might think this game is a little long running. Or the time change here, it's still early in the evening. Weatherspoon on the receiving end at the 30-yard line. It's coming up at 9:30 here in Arizona.
Arizona State lines up with 2 slot people on the right-hand side. 1 receiver's running an inside pattern, and Weatherspoon running the outside pattern. You see him there on the catch.
At the 30-yard line, it is 2nd down and 5. A long 5, and we'll make it 6. 2nd and 6. Crawford open and gets it down to the 20 and down near the 19-yard line. Another Arizona State 1st down. Now we're seeing the kind of game we expected to see in the first half.
Yeah, both offenses starting to uncrank it, and this is, I guess, what you call running to daylight. Crawford here on a very fine run, and Brian McCrary, 43, in on the tackle.
Right at the 20-yard line, it is 1st and 10, Arizona State, with 1:12 to play in the third quarter. Hans, the senior from Torrance, California, brings him up with a slot left formation. He'll hand off, keeping it on the ground to Crawford. To the 12, and Bloodworth really put the stop on him. Bloodworth, only a 165-pounder, hit him really strong. Crawford, a sophomore himself, at 185.
You know, some backs seem to get, start slow, and the more they carry the ball, they get wound up, and Mike Crawford is starting to really run the ball very well.
Keep in mind, he is replacing Darrell Clack, who last year as a freshman was the leading rusher, the first freshman since 1955 to lead Arizona State. Crawford now nearing the 100-yard mark at 93. 2nd and 2 from the 12. And this is right inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. Or was it Tupper 48? I believe it was 48, not 46. It was Tupper. He is from Phoenix, right around this area, a sophomore. And he gets it down inside the 10 for a first down. Arizona State at the Florida State 9, 1st and goal.
And Larry, big James Keaton, the senior offensive tackle for Arizona State, leading the way on that last run.
Doug Allen, we have not heard from much, will line up wide to the left, and in the slot will be Weatherspoon. It is 1st and goal officially from the 8. It's closer to the 9, and now whistles will blow as the third quarter has come to a close. Here in Sun Devil Stadium, Tempe, Arizona, Larry Matson with Barry Smith. A break in the action, a timeout. Here in Tempe, Arizona, with a score, Florida State 14, Arizona State threatening. All right, we want to remind everyone that Bob Warren will have a news update right after this ball game. So you want to stay with us. At the completion of the game, Bob Warren will update the news. And with the fourth quarter just getting underway, we are faced with a 1st and goal from the 8-yard line. And it's 14-10 Florida State. The pitch is to Crawford. Oh, he is belted. He gets it down to the 6-yard line. Boy, this is going to be exciting. As the break was being taken at the end of the quarter, you may have heard the crowd. This crowd was cheering quite loudly here. It's the first reaction we have really had from the crowd tonight, and I'm told they don't do that very often here in Tempe.
Larry, I was told that the last time the crowd was like this was when Cush was fired back in October of 1979.
So they're fired up. It is 2nd down and goal from the 7. The quick pitch to Crawford. Good block on Milliken, but McCrary comes up to make the hit in the open field and down near the, well, I guess the 7-yard line. A loss of a yard on that one. So just outside the 6-yard line, it'll be 3rd and goal. This defense is really toughening up here.
Well, Larry, from our FSU standpoint, it would really be a super time to hold them at least to a field goal.
Well, this is a chip shot, an automatic for Zendejas. It is 14-10, Florida State by 4, just underway in the fourth quarter. 3rd down goal. Hans wanting to throw, and it's incomplete, and he had a man open, and I'm not sure he went to the right man. It looked like he might have gone to Doug Allen, but he had Weatherspoon open, and they were really just may have been shielded. Weatherspoon may have been shielded from the ball because it looked like he went to Doug Allen, who cut inside, and Weatherspoon cut to the outside.
Larry, I think that Arizona State thought, or Hans thought, that FSU was going to be in a man-to-man, and they checked off and went to a zone coverage, so that was really an ineffective play.
It is 14-10. Florida State by 4. This will be a chip shot field goal for Zendejas, the All-American. It'll be of 24 yards. The snap is down, and the kick is up, and it is automatic, and it is good. And we've got a little break in the action here as the fireworks and cannons explode in Tempe, Arizona. A timeout with 13:45 to play in the game. And the score now, Florida State 14, Arizona State 13. 52-yard drive in 16 plays, and look at the time, 7 minutes and 42 seconds. That was ball control with a 24-yard field goal from that man right there, Luis Zendejas. He hadn't had one in 6 quarters, but he's gotten 2 in this ball game.
Larry, I'd like to remind all the Seminole fans to be sure to tune in the Bobby Bowden Show on Channel 6 tomorrow afternoon at noon. You catch all the highlights from tonight's action.
Zendejas approaches the ball. Snipes is the deep man for the Seminoles, and he'll take it 6 yards deep in his end zone and back up a step or two and kneel it down. So, you know, we have not had many kick returns in this ball game with two outstanding kickers. They just kick it deep and bring it out to the 20, 1st and 10. We got one guy running wild out on the field right now. He's going a little bit berserk. That's Elvis, huh? He fires up this crowd a little bit, does he? He went out and got the kicking tee, I guess, and went to the sideline. 13:45 to play in the game. It is 14-13. Florida State up by 1. And an important drive right now for the Seminoles. 1st and 10 at their own 20. Right away, Lowry to the air to Hester. Makes a move and almost breaks away. Gets a first down across the 30. And out of bounds at the 35 is Bruce Hill. On the coverage, gets him out of bounds.
Once again, Arizona State, a man-to-man coverage, and Florida State taking advantage of that by running Hester on the quick out pattern for the first down. He almost broke that one. It's too bad he didn't have the tearaway jersey.
That's right. Tearaway, he'd have been off and running. Next week now, the Seminoles return home against South Carolina. 1st and 10 at the 35. High backs. On the play action, Lowry looking back to his right and overthrows the intended receiver, tight end Tom Wheeler. He was open. Would not have had enough for the first down, but it would have certainly gotten 7 or 8 yards out of it.
Well, I think Kelly knows he overthrew Tom. Kelly obviously is not having a real sharp night. He's still having a good night, but we're going to have to hit those plays. When you got a man open in a game like this, you've got to hit him.
As a wide receiver, Barry, when you've got the nickel defense you've got in now, what did you look for when you were a wide receiver? Did you try to get the one-on-one and break on a nickel defense? Is it usually one-on-one?
It's simple. You try to find the hole.
That's simple. Here's the pitch to Snipes, and Snipes gets it across the 42-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd down and about 3 or 4.
Now, getting back to the nickel defense, Larry, seriously, what you have to do, number one, is to spread out the defensive coverage, and you've got to get the receivers to get down the field to get past the underneath coverage in the find the hole, either if it's in or outside.
Salamua on the stop for the Arizona State Sun Devils. He's the nose tackle, 285-pound sophomore. It is 3rd down and a long 3. Lowry's in trouble. Billy Robinson, the outside linebacker, was coming strong, and he makes the tackle. He has had 5 quarterback sacks, and this is his 6th. And Lowry is down and not getting up right away. We will take a commercial break here with 12:43 to play in the ball game. A timeout, a break in the action. Florida State 14, Arizona State 13. Kelly Lowry, as you see, is being helped to the sideline. He could not put any weight, Barry, on that left leg at all. When he tried, it just gave out on him.
Now, I think we're going to take a look at it right here. He gets hit by Billy Robinson really on a fine play on the blitz, but you can see where he gets bent back over right there, and that's the extent of the injury right there. I don't think we're going to see him back again in this ball game.
Onofrio is deep in punt formation, or to return the kick for Arizona State. Barry's kick is away. Onofrio is going to take it at his own 17. Straight ahead to about the 23. So that's going to loom as a very big factor now with 12:24 to go in a 1-point ball game. You got to keep in mind Zendejas can boom them from 50 or more as a field goal kicker for Arizona State, so they don't need a lot of room to get him a 3-point try. And the quarterback situation for Florida State, there he is on the sideline being worked on, and he's in a great deal of pain. It's his left knee, not the ankle that he injured a week ago. It is now the knee that is his problem. I guess we'd see Bob Davis come in.
Yeah.
And he is warming up on the sideline. Here's straight ahead play out to about the 30 is Dwayne Wright.
You know, Larry, it's been fortunate that we've been able to play games against Cincinnati and Louisville and get such a good lead that Bob Davis could come in and get some experience under his belt, because times like this, you've got to play.
I tell you what, that's a miracle recovery there, and he's up walking around on the sideline.
Well, you know the old saying, I mean, Kelly Lowry, everybody knows that he's a stud, and if he can come back, I guess he'll give it a good shot.
Give some credit to the trainers, those magic fingers on the sideline. They got him going. Crawford again with the carry, and this one out to the 34-yard line. He's over that 100-yard mark now. He had only, well, he had less than 300 yards coming in for the season, and he's up to the 100-yard mark in this ball game.
I don't think Arizona State is missing Daryl Clack tonight.
No, not with this guy, not with Crawford running the ball so well.
You know, getting back to Kelly's injury, you know, Don Falls, of course, a lot of us call him Rooster, has been with Florida State many years and has done a fine job working with the athletes.
It is 3rd and 3, and their third down conversion has been 4 of 10. But they get it again here on a first down. A pass out near midfield to Paul Day. That's Scatback, that's sophomore, 5'10", 159 pounds. And he gets it out near midfield for a Arizona State first down. 11-11 to play.
You know, the reason this ball was completed, number 23, Tracy Ashton for Florida State, originally had the coverage and then moved out of the area, and then you see the catch for the first down.
The second half has been what we expected the entire ball game, but it has been a defensive struggle in the first half, a 7-7 game, and a timeout has been called by Florida State. And now with the timeout, 10:57 to play in the game, the score is Florida State 14 and Arizona State 13. There's an excellent shot of Kelly Lowry's left leg, the knee that has been bothersome since he just got racked up and it's got ice on it. He got up and walked around, as you saw, but now he's got the ice pack on, and Bob Davis has loosened up and he's on the sideline standing up. We may see him. Here's a 1st and 10 play. Dwayne Wright to the outside and just across the midfield stripe into Seminole territory. Another 10 or 15 yards there, threatening for 3 was Zendejas.
That's true. I think he's pretty effective hitting him from that lane.
And it is 14-13 the score. Hans 9 of 14. He only passed 6 times in the first half. He has 97 yards passing, and he's had 3 300-yard games this year and 2 last year. He's going to go with a play action here and throws it incomplete, and he just threw that one away. It was double coverage on that sideline, and he may have had trouble with the interception had he picked it up and thrown it. Ken Rowe in his face on the blitz really gave him some trouble.
You know, Ken Rowe is a senior at Florida State. He's had a lot of great games, and once again, he shows you why he's such a fine linebacker, putting a lot of pressure on Todd Hans.
10 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in Tempe, Arizona. The score is 14-13. Florida State by 1. 3rd down and 8 for Arizona State, right at midfield. A big play here. Gets it away under pressure, and it's complete to Crawford out of the backfield. Down the sideline, he's still on his feet. He goes in for a touchdown. 49 yards. And Arizona State has taken the lead with 10-11 to play. And no flags anywhere that I can see.
We'll take a look at it right here. What we had is a mix-up in the coverage, and you're also going to see Paul Day, number 22, throw a fine block. And Mike Crawford is off and running right there for a touchdown.
Well, you might remember the first touchdown that they scored was set up on a Crawford to Hans pass, the halfback to the quarterback, that kept the drive alive. And this time Hans returns the favor, giving it off to Crawford on the pass, and a touchdown run by Crawford. So it is right now 19-14, the extra point coming up, but they're going to take a timeout here in a break. So let's take it now with 10 minutes, 11 seconds remaining. There's a break in the action. The score, Arizona State 19, Florida State 14. All right, we may see Florida State defensively now looking at a little different situation. Arizona State may go for 2. A 2-point conversion would give Arizona State a 7-point lead instead of a 6-point lead, and that's what they're going to go for. That's why the timeout. Play action rollout. Hans batted away by Carricker. Oh, that's a big play. Now a touchdown would give Florida State the lead. A break in the action. Timeout in Tempe, Arizona. 10 minutes, 11 seconds remaining, and the score, Arizona State 19, Florida State 14. I tell you, when you look for the defense to make the big play, all you got to do is look at Carricker, Alfonso Carricker, and he is the guy that will probably make it. And he has done it here tonight. A 6'6" senior batting away a 2-point try after a 72-yard drive, 6 plays, a touchdown of 49 yards. But now it is 19-14. Kick to Snipes. He's going to bring it out. He was 7 yards deep. He brings it out to the 17-yard line. 24-yard return, but it's short of the 20-yard line. Dale Walton on the coverage and the tackle. Well, it is all set up now for Florida State with 10 minutes to go. A touchdown gives them a lead even without the extra point because of the two-point try failure.
Chris, I think we're going to see a lot more action in the last 10 minutes.
There's Elvis running off the field again. He's the guy that goes out and gets the kicking tee for Zendejas. Well, with 10-11 to go, it's down to 10:06. You see Bob Davis in there at quarterback, a junior from Warner Robins, Georgia, called on under pressure because of the injury to Kelly Lowry. Look at Allen. He is a bull out to the 25-yard line. Mitch Callahan, who weighs about 250 pounds, dragged along with him, makes the tackle. Well, this is the kind of game we thought it would be, finally. It wasn't that way in the first half. Now it's a ping-pong match.
Well, they're starting to really square it out now.
Bob Davis, 6'4", 190-pound junior, brings his team up with 2nd and 1 after a 9-yard pickup from the 26. Quick pitch again, Allen. Nope, he will not get the first down. Billy Robinson, who's just been outstanding tonight, makes the tackle. If he's not blitzing, he's making the hit, whether it's a pass or whether it's up the middle or whether it's outside on the run.
Defensive coaches like to see a player like that, always around the ball, making something happen.
It is 3rd down and a yard. Ouija Thompson coming in with Tom Wheeler. Pete Penton goes to the sideline. The play has been sent in from the sideline, and let's see what it's going to be on 3rd and 1. High backs Jones and Allen, and Davis on play action will throw on 3rd and 1. He's got a lot of time. Unloads it to Wheeler, who gets the first down. The tight end is down at the 41-yard line. Dale Walton on the coverage and the tackle, along again with Jimmy Williams.
That was a good play selection by Bob Davis. A good safe pass. Once again, you know, they're doubling the outside receivers, and Tom Wheeler is man on man. He's all by himself, and he makes a fine catch, and we've got another first down.
Davis showed the real coolness and poise of a seasoned veteran there, dropping back in the pocket on 3rd and 1 and getting it away. 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line, 8:39 remaining. Here's the handoff inside, and look at Jones. He's off and running. He is down to the 20-yard line. Flag goes down as he goes down to the 10. And it looks like it may be a clip against Florida State. Cletus Jones of Miami, a sophomore, breaks it open on an inside play all the way down to the 23, or actually down to the 13, but a flag went down around the 23.
Well, this play is all Cletus Jones all the way, but let's see if we can pick up the penalty right here. And it is against Florida State. It's a fine run by Cletus. There's the ball. Hassan Jones, you can see right there blocking. Now, that is very frustrating from a coaching standpoint because, you know, just let the man run.
Because there's
nothing you could
that block would not help at all.
That's correct.
Well, instead of being down 1st and 10 at the 13, they're going to bring it all the way back near the 40. It'll be at the 38-yard line. And it was a legitimate good call. No doubt about it. Hassan even looked like he wanted to hold up. After he made the hit, he realized he had not done the right thing. But it's out to the 38. It'll be first down.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at it again. You're going to see Hassan Jones coming from the top of your screen right there against number, I guess, 24, right there. And there's the block.
Lay off, but
yep.
Boy, Cletus really broke it open quickly, didn't he? For a 215-pounder, he was breaking it. 69,986 the official attendance. Capacity is 70,021. So they were only about 40 or 50 away from that. 1st and 10. Davis out of the backfield to Snipes. Defensive back fell down. Snipes breaks the tackle. 30, 25, 20. Leaps over. He'll go in for the touchdown. He hurdled a defensive back at the 12 and goes in for the score. This one of 38 yards, and the lead now to Florida State by 1.
Well, Larry, you talked about getting pumped up. David Fulcher, who's around the ball all the time. You can see him trying to make the tackle here. You can see Bob Davis, cool, just throwing it right out to Roosevelt Snipes. And look at those moves right there, and you can see Fulcher trying to make the tackle. This is all Roosevelt Snipes. He is an exciting ball player.
All right, a 38-yard touchdown pass for Davis, although it was mostly a run by Snipes. It is 20-19, and now Florida State will take a timeout to discuss the two-point possibility. 8:03 to play in the game. Timeout. The score, Florida State 20, Arizona State 19. Well, Bob Davis has hit Rosie Snipes for a quick touchdown. Snipes with an excellent run, breaking a tackle of Fulcher, leaping and hurdling over a would-be tackler at the 12 and taking it all the way in for the score. And now a two-point try would give Florida State a 3-point lead, and if they fail, they still have the lead by 1.
I'll be anxious to see what kind of play Coach Bowden calls. A two-point pass conversion is something that Florida State does work on quite a bit.
Shotgun formation. Bob Davis in the shotgun. Allen in motion. Davis to the middle, and it is good to Ouija Thompson. So the two-point play is good, and Davis is having an outstanding quarter. He's got a touchdown pass to Snipes. It was mostly a run by Snipes, but it goes in the books as a scoring toss, and then this toss to the 6'6" Thompson gives the Seminoles now a 3-point advantage.
You know, Larry, what was great about that play was Mario Montgomery really had a hand in there, and Ouija Thompson was just hungrier than Mario, and he went for the catch, and he just made a fine grab.
So now Florida State owns a 3-point lead at 22-19. It was a 7-7 game at the half, and it has exploded into a high-scoring game after all. And you see Davis on the headset there. He's talking to the coaches in the booth up here with us to get some indication of what he might be calling when he gets the ball back again. So Snipes' 38-yard touchdown reception from Bob Davis. More of a swing pattern and let Snipes run open. I tell you, he's tough in the open field, isn't he? Boy, he's got the moves and he's got the speed.
Well, you know, he's kind of a player, I don't want to say like a Tony Dorsett, but, you know, in Dallas's offense, they like to get the ball to him on the outside and let him run.
He's a game breaker. We saw that against Auburn when he ran 180 yards, but it was called back because he stepped out of bounds. This is Cade, breaks a tackle and fights his way up close to the 20-yard line. So Barco's kick returned out to the 20, maybe the 21, 1st and 10 Arizona State with just inside 8 minutes to go. An 82-yard drive in just 5 plays.
We figure, Larry, the first half, we figure these bowl committee officials are probably ready to go to sleep and leave, and I imagine they're on the edge of their seats right now.
5 bowls represented here tonight. On the 20-yard line, 1st and 10. 7:58 to play in the game. It's a 3-point lead for Florida State. That's a bit fragile the way this game is going. Crawford to the outside. Makes a turn. He is a tough runner now, and he gets enough apparently for a first down right at the 30-yard line. Pat Milligan forces him out of bounds, the Fort Lauderdale senior, a strong safety.
You know, Crawford really showing his speed, trying to get to the outside, and John McLean just didn't have that extra help he needed to make that tackle.
Crawford over the 100-yard mark rushing tonight. You kind of expected to see some 100-yard rushers tonight. You expected maybe Allen and Snipes and perhaps Clack, but Clack has been held out with a hip pointer, and it has been Crawford carrying the ball and carrying the load for Arizona State. Lowry is on the bench with an injury, a knee that has ice on it. This is Crawford again to the right side on 1st and 10, and he gets maybe 3 yards. And it has been Davis to ignite a fire under the Seminoles here in the 4th quarter with a touchdown pass and a 2-point conversion, giving the lead back to Florida State in what has become a seesaw battle. 7.5 minutes to play. 22-19, Florida State by 3. We're happy we're bringing this game to you, but this would have been a good one for regional television. And here's Crawford, and not much going here. He gets it out maybe to the 34, a yard or so, as Ken Rowe, the senior linebacker, came up to apply the brakes.
You know, Ken Rowe seems to be around the ball quite a bit, just like Billy Robinson of Arizona State. He's been around the ball all day long.
He really has. I'll tell you, when you get 2 inside linebackers like Rowe and Taylor for Florida State, and then you've got Battle and Williams for Arizona State, you've got some fine ones. Crawford 112 yards now for the night. Of course, Battle is out with an injury he sustained earlier in this game. 3rd and 6 from the 34. Across midfield with a catch and out of bounds is Doug Allen, the junior wide receiver from Baldwin Park, California. He is one of the leading receivers, although we have not seen much of him tonight. He had 17 receptions coming into the game with a 14.5-yard average.
Doug Allen, number 82 for Arizona State. Little used this evening, but he makes a fine move to the outside, and there's a hole. He makes a reception. It's another first down.
You get the feeling there's a lot of football left in this game with 6:33 to go.
Yes, yes.
22-19, Florida State by 3. Florida State has 1 timeout remaining. Keep that in mind. Arizona State has 2 of theirs remaining as Hans finds another receiver, and out of bounds along the sideline around the 40-yard line is Paul Day. Paul Day, the speedster. A sprinter on the track team here at Arizona State. Eric Riley forced him to the sideline. Inside the 40 at the 39, short of a first down. It's 2nd and 1.
Once again, you have Arizona State lining 2 wide receivers to one side, one running the inside pattern, and Dave running the outside cut. It's been effective all night long.
Allen lines up wide to the right. 2 setbacks behind the quarterback. And how about that? Hans will just take it straight ahead. Trying to get the first down and gets it. And some more. He gets down to the 35. Let's see. 42. Right now, they're in field goal range of Zendejas. The way he can kick it. And they're not thinking 3, folks. They're thinking 6 at the moment with 5:47 to play and the clock moving.
First and 10 at the 35.
Beautiful, clear night here in Tempe, Arizona. We are high above, really, the press box area and everything in our TV booth. We can see out and see the beautiful sparkling lights all around this area. It's beautiful here in the Phoenix, Tempe, Scottsdale, Arizona area. The pass intended for Allen is incomplete. He just missed it. That was a catchable ball.
Well, Larry, I've been in that same position a few times. You get a little bit excited. It's really an easy catch, and you're thinking more about running with the ball after the catch, and you take your eyes off it, and you drop it.
We talked about that in the Pittsburgh game, that sometimes it's almost easier if it's a difficult play to make because your concentration is there.
That's correct, Larry.
2nd and 10, 35-yard line. Hans pump fake. He's in trouble. Carricker zeroing in, forces him out of bounds. I think I'd speed up a little, too, if I saw that guy coming after me. Carricker is 6'6", 260. And he's been all over the running backs tonight and now chasing quarterback Hans. He batted the 2-point conversion away earlier tonight that allowed Florida State really to get back the lead with the touchdown.
Really what made this play for Florida State really wasn't so much Carricker on the pressure, but very fine coverage from Florida State defensive backs.
Good point. Down to 5:16 to play. It is 3rd down and 11. A big play now for both clubs. Hans on a straight drop back across the middle. He's got an open man. It's Doug Allen. He's going to take it in for the touchdown. And this game is a long way from being over yet. 5:08 to play, and the score gives Arizona State the lead by 3. That's his 6th touchdown, and he is the leading scorer as far as the receiving corps goes for Arizona State.
Well, you can see Day making the catch right there in traffic, and it's all off to the races right there. What made that play go, there was a receiver you couldn't see on that replay that cleared out earlier, and he came underneath the coverage, caught the pass, and went in for the score.
This one coming just 3 minutes away from the touchdown that Florida State had scored. So Doug Allen takes it in for the touchdown. And the extra point by Zendejas is automatic. And now it is a 4-point lead for Arizona State. 26-22, and this game has rapidly become the kind of game we thought it would be. Although the first half was dull and listless, it has certainly been a fireworks kind of a game in the second half.
You can see Hans, he seems to be getting hotter as the game progresses. He's on target. You see the catch. What's good about this is the pattern is run deep enough that you get away from the underneath coverage, and he finds a hole. He makes an easy catch, and he's in for the score.
Well, in the last 3 minutes, you've seen an 82-yard drive by Snipes and an 80-yard drive by Doug Allen.
I guess that's the Sun Devil. From what I understand, he has to do as many push-ups as the points that they have on the board.
Oh, I don't think I'd like that with this club. They average over 30 points a game, 32 in fact.
I'm told that that's Sparky, and I guess that guy must be in good shape.
He's got to be. If he isn't, he will be at the end of the season. 26-22, Arizona State by 4. A game that is looming big in the bowl picture for both teams. An almost must-win for a team expecting to go to a bowl this year. 26-22. The Pac-10 team, Arizona State on top against the Southern Independent. Snipes says, I'll bring this one out too. And oh, he is upended inside the 20-yard line. He really got popped. They're going to mark it down at the 17-yard line. That's where he brought it out to the other time.
Well, I guess, you know, when you have a guy like Rosen Snipes, you're going to let him take a chance of trying to break one, and you're going to see Dale Walton, number 41, very fine stick right there.
You know, between Walton and Robinson, it'd be tough to pick the defensive player of the game for Arizona State.
Certainly would.
Those two guys have been all over the field. This crowd is on their feet and coming to life.
I don't see anybody leaving early.
5:05 to play. 1st and 10 at the 17. Bob Davis in for the injured Kelly Lowry. Deep handoff, Allen. He almost breaks this one. He gets it out to the 27-yard line. Good defensive play from David Fulcher, who's also been an outstanding defensive man for the Arizona State Sun Devils. You see Weegie Thompson getting the word, the play call from Bobby Bowden. Hey, these two coaches really are cool under pressure, and I guess it shows the wins that they've got under their belt, why they are cool. They keep that coolness, and it is really picked up by the players, and they stay cool under the pressure.
Well, I know when Darrell Rogers was at Michigan State, he certainly, you know, spiced up their offense, and he's come to Arizona State and kept the tradition of a wide-open attack.
You mentioned earlier, every team he has coached has been a state.
The state of the arts.
26-22 the score. 2nd and 1. And enough for the first down across the 30 to the 32-yard line. Cletus Jones, who had broken off a big run in this quarter, gets the first down here as Willie Green makes the stop. Green, a senior, playing because Greg Battle, a sophomore, was hurt in the first half.
You know, Larry, when you get to this point of the ball game, you know there's no tomorrow, and you've got to make it happen. At this point, you know your running backs are going to be able to run. What you've got to do is the offensive linemen, they become the key players right now.
4 minutes and 20 seconds to play. Clock is moving. Florida State with 1 timeout remaining. 26-22 the score. Quick toss. Weegie Thompson out of bounds. Not enough for the first down, but very close, about a yard short. Bruce Hill on the coverage. They'll mark it down at about the 42. He has to get to the 43. Bob Davis is doing a fine job here in the 4th quarter for the injured Kelly Lowry.
For a man coming off the bench and being cold, he certainly has a lot, showing a great deal of poise for a young man.
Arizona State a 1.5 favorite, according to the local newspapers here.
You know, Larry, earlier in the week I was looking at the Dunkel rankings, and they had us favored by 11 points. That's kind of, I don't know where they got that one from.
I'd like to talk to Dunkel sometime.
Yeah.
There's Kelly Lowry's knee all wrapped up with ice on it. He had not been able to put pressure on it when he came off the field. He was up walking around later, but as you can see, he's having it iced down and won't return. 4:10 to play. Look at this move by Greg Allen. Near midfield. David Fulcher on the stop again. 4 minutes, 3 seconds remaining in the game. A clock the factor, and down in distance going to be a factor. It is 1st and 10 at midfield. Bob Davis having to play somewhat conservatively. You can't give up the ball. He is 3 out of 3 for 63 yards. The touchdown being really a swing pass to Snipes, who took it in for 38 yards. 1st and 10 at midfield. 3:47 to play. 1 timeout remaining. The quick toss is incomplete. Almost picked off by Bruce Hill, the cornerback.
Now that time, Bob Davis showed his inexperience, because he really, as you can see by the replay right here, that he's trying to go to Hassan Jones, and he's thrown into double coverage, which he's very fortunate didn't get picked off.
All right, that brings up 2nd and 10 from the midfield stripe, stopping the clock with 3:39 to play. 1 timeout remaining, and down by 4. A field goal won't mean much. In motion is Hester, as you see toward the top of your screen. Inside handoff to Snipes, who leaps his way down to the 45-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 5. Big play time coming up. Looks like a little trap inside.
Kind of a conservative call, but then again, he does pick up 4 or 5 yards, and Florida State is in a 3rd and 5 situation right now. Almost have to pass the ball right now.
Tony Johnson brings in the play from the sideline. He's a wide receiver. We'll see him line up on the split side to the right.
Let's see if Arizona State blitzes this time.
3rd down and 6. Handoff inside. Down ball popped loose. Did the whistle blow or didn't it? It was down to the 41-yard line, and they're saying no. Yes, it is. A fumble recovery by Arizona State. Fred Gaddis gets the recovery. Jimmy Williams gets the hit. Gaddis gets the football.
Let's take a look at it again. You can see Roosevelt Snipes. He's running with the ball. He's in traffic. Now, I just think there's the stick right there. It makes the ball pop out, and there's the recovery right there.
That's the 2nd fumble recovery in the game for Arizona State. The first one came in the quarter number 2 when they recovered it at the 33 and then drove 67 yards to tie the game at 7-7 to end the first half. This one at the 42-yard line with 2:58 to go. High backs now. Remember, Florida State has 1 timeout remaining. They can stop them. They can get the ball back again. Now, they will not be in their hurry-up offense, but if they get into that, Arizona State has scored 4 times in its 2-minute drill in the last 2 years. In fact, Hans at quarterback has scored 2 of those touchdowns in really a minute drill, the last minute.
Let's see if Roosevelt Snipes is down before. Nope, it was a good call. It's a very good call. It is a fumble. Unfortunately for Florida State, that's a big turnover.
It was popped loose while he was still up on his feet. Hit from behind, and the ball popped loose. A 4-yard loss, 2nd and 14. 2:21 to play, clock moving. Crawford outside, nowhere to go, to the 41. That's the original line of scrimmage. In fact, a yard short of that, it'll be 3rd and 11.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see if Arizona State puts the ball in the air, risking an interception. I think that they'll just run the ball, and Florida State is going to have a chance of getting the ball back.
Paul Day, the wide receiver, is bringing the play in from the sideline. At the 41, it is 3rd and 11. There's a 1:55 remaining. Bobby Bowden last week became the winningest coach in Florida State history. A 1:45. Florida State has 1 timeout left. It is 3rd and 11. Got to stop him here. Play action in trouble. Had to unload it early. He threw it away incomplete in a wise play by Hans. He would have been sacked back at the 25, but instead was able to get the ball away, and you think, well, that might be picked off because he threw it up for grabs, but no, he threw it out of bounds to the sideline. A good play by the quarterback. Ryan Williams was all over him, and really, that was a heads-up play.
You know, right now, you wonder if you should go for a block right now, but...
Oh, boy.
I don't know. I think that they'll play conservative and try to go for the return because you still got plenty of time, and unfortunately, we only have 1 timeout left, but we're going to see what Florida State's 2-minute offense can do.
Hassan Jones is deep. That's Jim Meyer, the punter. And a break here. Let's see. They may call timeout. That may be, if Florida State takes it, it's their last one, and they take it.
Now that is not a smart move right there because that could come back to haunt us.
Well, you remember we thought that maybe the timeout should have been taken in the Pittsburgh game and was not.
That's right.
Now this is a little surprising that you would take it here. My thinking is maybe they're going to let the clock run down to the, well, they can't let it run down to this very much or they get the penalty. I don't know. I'm surprised too. 1:38 remaining and no timeouts left now. That puts a little extra pressure on your quarterback.
It certainly does. Well, I think at this point, you know, they basically know what type of patterns they're going to run. They'll probably call 2 or maybe 2 plays in the huddle.
All right, they're going to go to their hurry-up or fire offense. They'll call several plays in the huddle, but I'm wondering now if they're considering the block possibilities of thinking if they block the punt, then they get the ball deep in the territory. Of course, if you go into the kicker, you lose the ball in the ball game. It's a gutsy play. And, of course, you're talking up in the booth, and that's... All right, let's see. Can you read lips?
Well, we're going to find out real soon.
Bobby's pretty cool now. He's been talking to his assistants in the booth. They've got their mind made up on what they want to do. Arizona State is out on the field getting ready for the punt formation. Florida State is now coming off from the sideline. They're down below us on the near sideline. And let's see. They had Hassan Jones deep. They're going to go with McCrary. Well, I don't see Hassan. They're going to go for the block. McCrary is the only deep back, and he's only standing at about the 46-yard line, so he doesn't even want to get the kick. They're going for the block. He's going to rush in. He's edging up. Backing off now. They're going to go with a 10-man rush. They're going after it, and they didn't get it. They're going to let the kick go, and it is a beauty. It's a beautiful kick bouncing at the 18, straight up in the air and down at the 18-yard line. They went for the block and gambled, didn't get it. Now, with no timeouts left, they've got 82 yards to negotiate, and they've got 1:28 to do it in.
Let's take a look at the attempted block right here. One thing that the guys rushing in have to do, you have to lay out in front of the ball like he's trying to, but unfortunately, he just didn't get there in time.
Yeah, you don't want to risk the penalty of going into the kicker, that's for sure. Well, here we go, 1:28 to play. At the 18-yard line, you got an 82-yard drive facing you, and you need a touchdown. Davis is open and can run, and he does. He gets it out to the 23. He does not get out of bounds. They got to hurry now. Callahan, he is the big nose guard of 249 pounds that chased him down.
Larry, the toughest thing about a 2-minute offense is they know you want to catch the ball to the outside and get out of bounds, and of course they're going to put their coverage there. So what they're really doing is giving you the inside patterns.
1 minute to go. 5 defensive backs in the game now for Arizona State. The nickel D. Davis to the sideline, almost intercepted. Incomplete. The coverage by the nickel back, or by the cornerback, Mario Montgomery, who is the fastest of the defensive backs. He is from Banning, California.
We're going to take another look at it. As we said earlier, that the receivers are going to try to get to the outside, and he's trying to get in between the coverages. Unfortunately, Mario Montgomery makes a very fine bat down right there.
53 seconds remaining. It is 26-22, Arizona State by 4. No timeouts left. And Davis throwing to the sideline. It's broken up. He had Thompson deep, but didn't quite get it to him. It was broken up by Kevin Graven, number 6. He is a junior, 5'11", 191 from Cleveland, Ohio.
Once again, we'll take another look at it. This is basically the same play, except to the opposite side of the field, trying to hit in between the deep coverage and the underneath. And Graven comes in and makes a nice save.
Down to 48 seconds to go. It is 4th down and 5. The throw, good for the first down across the 30. Get out of bounds, and he does. At the 39-yard line, stopping the clock with 41 seconds. That's Tom Wheeler. He is a senior, and he is a tight end from Port Orange, and he knew what to do as soon as he got that ball. Got a few extra yards and quickly got out of bounds at the 39-yard line.
You know, usually in a 2-minute offense, a lot of times your tight end is a good receiver to go to because they're going to double the outside receivers, and many times you get a single coverage down the middle on your tight end.
1st and 10, but only 41 seconds remaining. Davis, complete. And out of bounds at midfield, right near the 49-yard line. Jimmy Williams on the tackle as Tom Wheeler, again, the tight end, takes it out of bounds. That stops the clock with 34 seconds remaining. 1st and 10 Seminoles, and really they're playing a little soft in the secondary, allowing the 10-yard pickups because you've got so many yards to give up and only so many seconds to do it in. 34 seconds remaining. No timeouts. 26-22, Arizona State by 4. Play action again. Davis has the man open at the 30 and out of bounds. And this one's Hassan Jones. Now it's a threat with 28 seconds to go. The secondary can't give up too much more. They had to play soft to try to, I guess, run the clock down, but now you got to stiffen up.
Bob Davis, number 10, is showing a great deal of poise for a young man that hasn't had a lot of experience, and he's coming in a pressure situation. There you see Hassan Jones making the catch, getting out of the bounds, stopping the clock.
Oh boy, it's going to be exciting. 1st and 10. Davis quickly had to unload it, goes incomplete. He had some pressure right away, and that was really Ken Johnson putting the pressure on him. He is from Jamaica, Queens, New York, but he's played at Pasadena City College, a junior college, and the College of the Canyons in this area. And he has really been a well-traveled young man. He got in the backfield quickly there, getting some extra yards on the traveling. 25 seconds left, 2nd and 10. Shotgun, Davis. Having to unload it, it's a screen. He's got to complete to the tight end, to the 20, 15, down to the 10. It'll be a 1st down. That'll stop the clock as they move the chains up. The offense has to move up quickly. The clock is stopped with 18 seconds to go. It'll be 1st and goal. This one's going right down to the wire.
I tell you what, it's a great pass and a great deal of pressure. You can see Tom Wheeler making the one-handed grab and running for the first down.
16, down to 14. Quick throw to the sideline to Tony Johnson, stops the clock, and 11 seconds to go.
You know, Bob, one thing, Larry, Bob Davis had 2 receivers on 1 defensive back on the left side of the field, and he didn't see it. Could have been a touchdown.
He just didn't see it because he had his mind made up to throw the ball out of bounds and stop the clock to Tony Johnson. Had he looked back to his left, he would have had a score.
You know, that's similar. If you remember, it was reversed against Auburn. They had 3 receivers and our 2 defensive backs, and they went in for the score.
That's right. Of course, they weren't faced with no timeouts and with the clock going down. 11 seconds to go. Timeout has been taken by Arizona State. They've got 1 remaining. We're going to keep it right here to kind of recap what has happened. A listless 7-7 first-half score has turned into an exciting barn burner in Tempe with a 26-22 game, 4-point lead for Arizona State, and it's 2nd down and goal from the 10 and 11 seconds remaining. Oh, baby. You're really better off being down here at the 10, I would think, than it would be at the 5 as far as the passing game goes. Gives you a little more room to maneuver.
You have a little more room to throw the ball. That is true. You can see here's the play to Wheeler a few plays ago. You can see him running. This is when you wish you had a guy that maybe had a little bit more speed. He might have got in there.
You got to look to Ouija Thompson at 6'6".
Well, at this point, with 11 seconds to go, I think you've got time for two passes. Of course, you've got to already have them picked out, but you got to go into the end zone. Like you said, Ouija Thompson with his 6'6" stature is the guy you got to look to.
Well, we promised an exciting game at the opening of the show. It didn't live up to that in the first half. It has done so here in the second. For those people staying up late in Tallahassee, you've been treated to a real barn burner here in the second half. And we realize back home it's after 1 o'clock in the morning. But we hope you're enjoying it, because we certainly have had fun bringing this one to you.
One thing I'd like to remind all Seminole fans, this is the night that you got to turn your clocks back 1 hour.
That's right. You can pick up an extra hour, so stay up late.
You figure you got an extra hour of sleep.
In Arizona, they don't worry about that. No. They stay on standard time throughout the year.
That's right. Well, this is a big play right here.
Hester is wide left. Hassan Jones is wide right. Panton is the tight end. Down to 10 seconds. Throwing to Hester in the corner. He's there. It is touchdown. Florida State has scored. Good defensive play. He was right on him, but the pass got away.
Look at those
touchdown with 6 seconds remaining. Bob Davis has threaded the needle to Jesse Hester, and with 6 seconds remaining, Florida State has taken a 2-point lead.
You think those guys ain't excited? Look at this replay. Bob Davis is showing just a great deal of poise, you know, for a young quarterback. He's got somebody in his face, and Hester making a very fine reception. He's really looking the ball in. He knows it's a key catch he has to make.
Davis is throwing for 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter. The extra point try by Hall won't really mean a whole lot. It's a 2-point lead. There's a flag down, maybe delay of game because of all the jumping around and the excitement. But this was an 82-yard drive. 10 plays. And they had to do it down to less than 2 minutes to go. Yeah, only 6 seconds to go. The extra point would make it a 3-point lead. Zendejas could kick about a 90-yarder and tie this game, and he might be able to do it. You never know. The way he can
That's true.
Here's the extra point. It is good. How about that? What a ball game. We said you'd be treated here in the 4th quarter, and just now the people starting to leave the stadium. We were told they like to leave here early because the watering holes here close up about 1 a.m. They stayed right down to the 6-second mark. And believe me, folks, this one's not over yet. Arizona State has 1 timeout remaining.
Well, you know, Larry, what's exciting about this one, if we look all the way back to 71, we lost the game basically on the same. We lost it with just a few seconds to go in the ball game. This time, Florida State is reversing that.
82-yard drive. The touchdown pass coming here as we see it again.
You can see the rush right in Bob Davis's face. He makes a very fine throw right there. And Hester really makes a fine catch right there.
That was a 10-yard touchdown pass. And it was really on 2nd and goal. Or was it 3rd and goal? It was 2nd and goal, wasn't it?
I guess at this point it's all elementary, right?
That's right. 6 seconds remaining in the game. Now what would you do here? Would you kick it deep and let him run back, or would you squib it?
I would squib it. I'd try to kick it down the sideline somewhere, yeah. Just get it rolling and keep the clock up.
keep rolling.
But this thing that your guys on the kamikaze squad cannot let down, because with some of the speed Arizona has, all it takes is one play, it's all over with.
Well, you thought when Arizona State got the fumble recovery with 2:58 left, it might have been over, but they could not run the clock out. Give the defense credit for being able to stop them and force the punt.
As you can see there, that Florida State went the length of the field in 1 minute and 22 seconds. Not a bad job for your 2-minute offense.
And I was about to say, give the offense the credit for an 82-yard drive in 10 plays with only 1 timeout during that drive. In fact, they gave the timeout during the punt, so really no timeouts.
No timeouts.
82 yards in 10 plays. Day and Cater deep. The ball will be line drive and squib. The clock will start when he gets it. Now, 5, 4, 3, 2. Stopped at 2, and 1 timeout left has been expired. Now with 2 seconds left, you got to go with the Hail Mary alley-oop and go with a Big Ben, as Atlanta Falcon fans like to call it.
Guess who made that tackle? Mr. Ken Rowe, number 38.
Boy, oh boy, this has been an incredible game. There was 1 minute and 28 seconds left when Florida State got the ball at their own 18-yard line and drove it in 10 plays for the winning points. Apparently, we better hold it. There's only 2 seconds left. You never know. If there's a defensive penalty, the game will continue. So let's see what happens here. The clock has expired. The desperation pass is short and incomplete, and Florida State has won the ball game. The Florida State Seminoles have won the ball game. Their record now 5-3. Arizona State drops to 4-2-1. In a game that really was so important for Florida State, a must-win to keep bowl hopes alive. Arizona State still has bowl hopes alive with a 4-2-1, and certainly alive in the Pac-10, because this game will not count in their conference standings. What a ball game. The final points coming with 6 seconds remaining. Bob Davis in for the injured Kelly Lowry, finding Hester in the corner, and really well covered, was able to get the toss to him for the win. All right, here we are at the end of the ball game, still going over the scoring of an exciting ball game. Most of the points coming in that 4th quarter, the final period. 2 touchdowns by Bob Davis throwing the ball, 1 to Rosie Snipes of 38 yards, where Rosie really did all the running on a swing pattern. But the excitement was no timeouts, 82-yard drive, 10 plays, the touchdown pass, Davis to Hester. Bob Davis really did a job coming in for Lowry.
Well, you know, when you play a game like this, really it takes all 22 minutes, a team effort. But in this case, I'd have to give the nod to Bob Davis for a young man that came in with little experience, did a tremendous job in a tough situation.
A really team victory. You give defense the credit for stopping Arizona State with 2:58 remaining. They coughed up the football, forced the punt. Then the offense, with no timeouts left, drove the 82 yards. So defense and offense can take credit for a victory.
Well, you know, once again, it was a very exciting game. It was a must game for Florida State. You know, early in the season, we were losing those games. You know, 1 or 2 plays made the difference. In this case, those 1 or 2 plays we got tonight for the victory.
29-26, the final score. It was 7-7 at halftime, and we mentioned at the opening of the game it's going to be a high-powered offense against another high-powered offense, a high-scoring game. And at halftime, only 7-7, but the fireworks exploded as they opened up in the second half.
Well, it puts us in a good position, I think, right now to, you know, get our game together like we have been. We go play against South Carolina next week, and I think right now that the bowl committees that were here tonight, I think, have to take a good long look at us.
There were 5 bowls here represented, one from Florida, the Citrus Bowl, the other bowls from around the country, like the Blue Bonnet in Houston, the Holiday Bowl in San Diego, the Fiesta Bowl naturally was here too, and the Sun Bowl in El Paso, Texas. And I would think right now, showing the high-powered offense of Florida State and the way they won the ball game, they've got to be in the picture. But Kelly Lowry will be a question mark coming up with South Carolina at home.
Well, you could see earlier when we showed Kelly Lowry on the sideline, he is such a great competitor and has contributed so much to this great Florida State team. You know, but football is a game that the guys coming off the bench and put great performances together, and Bob Davis did tonight.
We certainly have enjoyed bringing this game to you. For those still up this morning, thank you for watching, and Bob Warren is next with a news update. The final score from Tempe, Arizona, 29-26, Florida State the winner.
Of the game, and Bob Davis out of the shotgun finds Jesse Hester in the end zone, and the Seminoles pull off a great come-from-behind victory, 29-26 over Arizona State. Coach Bowden, one of the best comebacks I have ever seen a Florida State football team pull off.
Yeah, that last drive, Bob Davis was in at quarterback, and what do we have, 40 seconds to go or something like that? No timeouts left. And what did he move, 80 yards?
83 yards.
He moved them 83 yards with no timeouts left, and we finally got the winning points with 6 seconds to go. It It was a great job by a quarterback that had not been under pressure at Florida State. I had several people ask me last week, why don't you play Bob Davis more? I said, well, Bob never has been under pressure. They said, yeah, but he looked so good in those other 2 games. I said, yeah, but he never was under pressure. I said, until I see him under pressure, I'm just not going to just stick him in the game. And so anyway, he could not have gone into a more pressure-packed situation and performed. No quarterback has come in ever, I don't think, and performed better than he did on that last drive for a winning touchdown.
He had to come in for Kelly Lowry, who went down with a knee injury, and how serious that injury is, we don't know at this particular time. Let's hope it's not that serious. Statistically, the Seminoles had a very good performance again.
Yeah, we out-statisticked them in everything except a bad one down there, and we had 28 first downs, so they're 20. We outrushed them, 218, 144. We outpassed them, 264 to 221. Total offense, 482 yards, which is about our average. And then we had 3 turnovers, though, that really hurt us. 3 turnovers. 2 of them were down on their end of the field where we were about to score, and it liked to have killed us.
And that one turnover right toward the end of the ball game, it looked like it was curtains for FSU, and then Bob Davis and that brilliant come from behind win.
Well, I tell you, with, 2 minutes to go, we were driving, trying to pull the game out, and we fumbled, and they recovered. Our defense made another great. Our defense finally played like I was hoping they'd play.
It was an exciting football game from opening kickoff to that final touchdown from Bob Davis to Jesse Hester. We'll have the first half highlights in just a moment. Florida State went way out west to the desert Southwest, Phoenix, Arizona, Tempe, and first trip out there in a long time, Coach Bowden.
Yeah, Florida State played in the first Fiesta Bowl and got beat 45-38 in a great game that those people all remember out there. Beautiful day, beautiful weather, beautiful setting. That stadium, if you've never been there, we go back out there next year and play Arizona State. It's a beautiful setting. What, a 73 or 4,000 seat stadium, Gene? And they had about 70,000 people there, and a nice night. They kick off. Rosie Snipes takes it in the end zone, and then the first play, here's Greg Allen around tackling, and he picks up about 4 yards. And we take this first drive right in for a touchdown. Kelly Lowry's back. He hits Greg Allen out in the flat, and Greg runs for a first down. The same play again. Lowry back to pass, and you can't believe the blitzing that this Arizona State team does. They are the best blitzing team I've ever played against. We finally burned them on it, but they burned us some too. But there's Greg Allen again running up the middle. Lowry comes back and finds Hester just right inside the first down marker for a big first down. And Lowry's back to pass, hits Tommy Wheeler. Tommy Wheeler is one of our heroes of the game from Spruce Creek. There's a reverse to Hester. Lowry blocking. Watch Hester. Hester has some fine running. 69, Tom McCormick, who played a good ball game at center. Here's a pitch off to Greg Allen, who makes a real good fake. Hester takes a reverse. Lowry throws a key block, and Hester on some real fine running. 61 is Danny Morris, and here comes Lowry on the option. A real fine run on Kelly Lowry on the option, and Ouija Thompson, number 18, blocking for him. Here we come back out with the option again. A pitch to Greg Allen. Greg dives and takes it down to the 2. Then Greg Allen again. Oh, we don't block some folks. He takes it down to the 1 on some real fine running by Greg Allen. And Kelly Lowry comes in and gets it on a quarterback sneak. And we take a 7-0 lead. And Lowry just did get that one in there. But anyway, we take the first drive. Barry Barco kicks the extra point, and we have a 7-0 lead. Barco kicks off again. He did a good job kicking off today, too. He put that one deep in the end zone. He couldn't run it back. And now they got to start it from 80 yards away. Ken Rowe, number 38, and Henry Taylor at linebacker both played a good game. Nice effort to block the punt there. They kicked the football, and it was a little short, so we just let it run. Okay, Lowry back. Now, we had a chance to score about 3 times this first quarter, Gene. We do not get a one of them. We just nearly went to sleep. I can understand. We took our first drive and drove it for a touchdown. Then we had time after time. There's old Pete Panton and Restivo making the tackle on the punt there. Okay, 71 is old Todd Stroud from St. Pete. Number 76, don't you see how many times? Watch 76 there. Watch him. Watch him. Now, they're going to get away from here, but old Al Carrick, if somebody's got a tackle playing better than him, I'd like to see it. I'd like to see him if they got a tackle. Oh, John McClain. Great effort on John McClain to block that punt. Didn't get it. Cedric Jones catches it, breaks the football back inside, and a real nice tackle. And, okay, Tom McClain. We played 2 offensive teams in the ball game. We rotated them. And nice pass there to Tony Johnson from Dothan, Alabama, who played a good ball game. Jimbo Thompson down here blocking at the bottom of your screen on this number 91. And 61, Danny Morrison there blocking. Terry Widener blocking, and a great catch by Tony Johnson, who continues to play so well. Now we go to the shotgun. They blitz. They hit their blitz clean, and we could not pick that thing up. Gee, we couldn't. Well, we picked it up. We picked it enough to win the game, but that was a very tough one. Lewis Berry punched this football, and I bet you he didn't miss 1 foot of putting that ball out on a 1-foot line. Oh, a nice tackle by Ken Rowe again, and some real fine hustling in the secondary. I thought Pat Milligan played good back there. I thought Brian McCrary played good back there. In fact, there's Tracy Ashley from let's just say up in Georgia. Let's take the whole stadium, okay? Let's make all the Georgians happy. Oh, nice effort there by Ricky Render on that tackle. And Rye Pale over there makes the tackle along with Osam Restivo. But we found, a nice tackle there by Henry Taylor from Milledgeville, Georgia. Our Georgia boys played good for us. I tell you, we're really proud of the way these Georgia boys are playing for Florida State. There's one right there showing you how to recover a fumble, Gene. Okay, here comes the option. There's the pitch back to Greg Allen. Picks up a nice block by Tony Johnson. Number 42 there is Cletus Jones from Miami, Florida. There's a Georgia boy right there. Cedric Jones. Cedric got hurt and didn't play the second half. Boy, I didn't realize how much we missed him until he was gone. There's a pitch out to Greg Allen. Greg should have stayed outside here. He should have stayed outside, but he thought he saw some daylight down inside, and Kelly Lowry takes it down here. Number 89 there is Tommy Wheeler, who I thought probably played the best game he's ever played for Florida State. A nice block down there by a wideout. Greg makes a first down there, but he'd have made a little bit more if he was outside. But that's easy to see from up here. Boy, look at that blitz. Gee, and a great catch. Watch Ouija's replay here. Watch him catch. This is the toughest play for a guy 6'6" to make. If he can make that play, he can make any play there is. A 6'6", he don't like to reach. Oh, look at that. We fumble. See? Now, that was another scoring opportunity. We were down on about there. Well, you see where the ball is right there on the 30-yard line. In fact, we were down on there in front. They had a 4th down there and go for it on their 35-yard line. Now, that was great. That showed you they must have felt like they had nothing to lose. Brian McCrary making another tackle. And, number 19, Milligan making another tackle. 45, Isaac Williams. Look at 76. They throw the old pass back on us. And number 9, Bloodsworth, Steve Bloodsworth, makes the tackle. Ken Rowe misses the tackle out there. The guy just had too big of an angle on him. They kick the extra points. I see Brian Williams in there on defensive end there. They kick the extra. They kick off the Snipe. Watch those Snipes. Snipes from Sarasota, Florida. Watch it. Is he fluid or is he just fluid? Oh, I thought he was going to break this thing. Gee, a couple more blocks and he would have broken. There's another fine throw and catch from Kelly Lowry to Ouija Thompson and the first down, but time ran out. And so we go into halftime, 7-7, Gene, and we had the ball the whole first quarter. I think we gave them some of the things people have been giving us. I think they had about 4 minutes first quarter, and we didn't get but 7 points on the board.
Seminoles had it for about 11. They had it for 4, 7-7 tie at halftime, and both teams are going to make some adjustments. And if you think that was an exciting first half, there is a lot more excitement coming up in the second half, so please stay with us. Everybody came to see the offensive show.
Yeah, everybody thought it was going to be an offensive show, and I did too. But our defensive football team is just keep playing better and better and better, Gene. And they gave our offensive team opportunity after opportunity to wrap the game up the first half. But after we scored that first touchdown easily, we just didn't. There's David Ponder from Cairo, Georgia, making a real fine tackle. David Ponder, Isaac Williams, and Todd Stroud from St. Pete. Isaac from down around Sanford, Florida. They punt the football. John McLean back there pressing. I saw his mother and dad at the game. There's Hassan Jones from Clearwater. I saw Doug Fry and his wife at the ball game. I always try to pass there to Ouija Thompson, quarterback threw behind him. And Lewis Berry did a fine job of punting under pressure. And Onofrio, their safety, makes a catch. And Garth Jacks, who must be our leading tackler on punt coverage. Garth Jacks, number 84, a sophomore from Houston, Texas. Number 19, Pat Milligan again, making a fine tackle. Oh, a great pass. Now, I tell you, they had a fine pass to that Todd Hans right there. Knight, look at character. See number 76? Now watch it. Now, he'll do that some more. He blocked that one. They kick a field goal. They've got the leading kicker in the nation down there. What's his name?
Louis Zendejas.
Zendejas. I can't remember the name. Zendejas. He's an Irishman, isn't he? But anyway, he's a great kicker. You notice he kicks all of his his kickoffs go out in. There's those Snipes. Boy, he's coming along. He is a dangerous runner, that little number 29. I want you to watch him. Nice job by Cletus Jones. Cletus Jones from Miami, Florida keeps playing better at fullback. Jamie Dukes leading that sweep. I want to call him Bubba Dukes for some reason. His name just ought to be, Miss Dukes should have named him Bubba. I mean, he's 290 pounds. Anybody 290 pounds ought to be called Bubba. But anyway, there's Lowry, a great pass out to Hassan Jones. We got a drive going here. Now, a fine play to Ouija Thompson. Ouija nearly scored. Ouija nearly scored. He gets those big old legs of his down, man. 6'6". Now, he had great desire. He wanted to get that one in the end zone so bad. One more step. Number one, he converted his route. We had called an out, and it wasn't there, so Ouija had to change it. Here's a trap, and Snipes again scores, going up the middle, standing up. Real fine. Look at that blocking in there. Real fine blocking in there. I think I see Herbie Hart. He and Herbie and Jamie both from down in the Orlando area there. Both of them about 290 pounds, and they give us a real fine, strong side of our line. And, okay, there's a kickoff, and there's old roll making 99, Bruce Hagee, freshman from St. Louis, comes in on the tackle. Nice catch there. 55, there's a freshman, Fred Jones from Miami, Florida. Fred Jones from Miami, Florida, a freshman. Brian Williams in there from Winter Haven. Oh, we missed some tackles there. And Eric Riley played another good ball game. Eric Riley from Fort Myers. There's Steve Bloodsworth making another fine tackle, a fumble. There's number 19, that's Milligan up again. And Brian McCrary. McCrary had some of the best hits of the night. And now we've got a 14-13 lead. Yeah, they kicked the field goal. We got a 14-13 lead. And Snipes takes the football. That's Chuck Wells from Orange Park. There's Jesse Hester. I tell you, we get out of those jerseys there, we're going to make some long runs. But that's they're a mesh jersey we use on hot nights. We have to have it. But, gosh, we've lost a couple touchdowns this year by being pulled down by a jersey. Fine punt by Lewis Berry from Panama City. Ulysses Robertson, number 67. What's the big man pressuring over there? There's nice Eric Riley. Got a blitz on here now. Oh, but they hit it for a touch. They hit it for a touch. Oh, shucks. Well, they caught us there, 19-14. Look at that. See Carrick on another deflection. They went for two there. That would have been pretty important, 2 points. Yeah, that would have been a very important. Now, we told Snipes to run this now. I don't care where it went. We needed a big play. We needed a big play. I wanted that ball out of that end zone, and he did. Okay, here's Greg Allen now. Picked up some fine blocking over there by Dukes, Hart, Tom McCormick. There's Tommy Wheeler. Now this is not this good. Now watch Cletus Jones here. Here's Cletus on a real fine run. Cletus took that football. I thought the guy grabbed him by his shoulder pad there. I thought that should have been a penalty on him, but they gave us a 15-yard penalty. It was a pretty good officiated ball game. Now watch Snipes on this. There's old Bubba Dukes out there blocking. Nice run, and he picks up a good block down here by Mr. Hester, number 4. Snipes goes in standing up, and now then Florida State takes a 22-19. Look at Bob Davis. Get a look at this Bob Davis now from Warner Robins, Georgia. His father is a coach up there at Warner Robins. Oh, a great high school coach, too. I'm talking about he does a great job. Watch Snipes run the football. Gee whiz, he's getting us excited. And real fine run. Now we go a 2-point play. Bob Davis hits Ouija Thompson across the middle. And for 2 points, and now we got goodness, I forgot what kind of lead we had. 1-point lead, 4-point lead or something? Or did it just put us back in there? I think we took a lead right there.
We went up, it was a seesaw battle all the way through. You lose track of who's ahead at what time of the game.
It was a seesaw battle all the way from now. All right, Barco kicks off, and there's Ulysses Robinson down there make the tackle again, along with Garth Jacks. There's Brian Williams chasing pretty hard from the backside. John McLean chasing there also with the tackle again is by Brian McCrary. Okay, nice tackle there. Tracy Ashley, Eric Riley from Fort Myers, Florida. Pons is back. Oh, he hits this man across the middle. Allen across the middle, and they score a touchdown. And now you think, well, it's all over. You think it's all over. But there were about, well, I think maybe 5 minutes to go. Now we take this kickoff here and drive it down to their end of the field and fumble, and with about a minute and a half to go, you think the game's over. There's Snipes again, trying to get that football. There's a handoff to Greg Allen. He picks up 9 big yards. 9 big yards. Now Bob Davis comes out and hits Ouija Thompson for first down. Bob Davis backhands off to Snipes, and there's the fumble, and you think the ball game's over. But we held them Force on the punt. Now, how much time do we have left when we got the ball, Jim?
Minute 28.
So we got 1:28 right now.
From the time we snap the ball on this final drive.
Right here. No timeouts left. Davis back. He hits Wheeler. Wheeler makes a fine first down and out of bounds to stop the clock. Now we're down to 41 seconds. Okay, there's a fake again. He's going to find Wheeler again. Catch the football, make the first down, stop the clock. Does it again. Bob Davis back again. Looking downfield. He finds Hassan Jones for another first down. Go to the shotgun. Great throw, great catch by Tommy Wheeler. Tommy Wheeler of Spruce Creek. Watch Wheeler's catch. A great throw by Davis to begin with. Nice catch by Tommy.
One-handed.
Oh, I tell you, really proud of him. We came home and got back to the airport about 6 o'clock in the morning. His mother was there waiting on him at the airport. I know she was glad. There's the touchdown that beat them right there. 11 seconds to go. Bob Davis back to pass. Finds Jesse Hester. And Jesse makes a real fine catch because that guy was all over him. But Jesse had set that up with a real fine fake. And Phil Hall kicks the extra point. Now we got a 29-26 lead. We get a 15-yard penalty there for having a good time, I think. With some new rule they got, I think it's called having a good time after you score, which they say don't do that anymore. You don't have a good time. Don't celebrate after you score. It's a good rule, too. We just violated it. Nice tackle, a big tackle there. And now then, they go back to pass. Pat Milligan nearly intercepts it, breaks it up, and Florida State wins a game that we thought we had lost, you know, because again, it was a game that was pulled out in the last 6 seconds. Again, we played. If we could have played the last minute against Auburn like that, and the last minute like that against Tulane, and the last minute like that against Pitt, we might have won the games, you know. But we finally pulled one out. And I'm proud of the team. Our defensive team, I thought, played their best ball game. If they can continue to improve, and they improved again last night, for that ball game, then we've got a chance on down the road. Now, I think that's a very big key. Now, we had a lot of boys injured. Cedric Jones did not play the second half. Greg Allen and Snipes both got hurt, but both went back in afterwards. Kelly Lowry got hurt. I don't know the extent of that yet. And we had some other boys beat up. But, gee, they played so good. I was just pleased to death to come out of Arizona State with a win.
Let's hope that the injuries can heal in time for the upcoming game with South Carolina. And speaking about the Gamecocks, Seminoles can't rest on that 29-26 thriller from Sun Devil Stadium. They got to look ahead to South Carolina. We'll have a scouting report and talk more in just a moment.